Where's our money? Hi all. How you doing?
Hello.
Good. Everything
How is
looks
everyone?
about right. Hey
My background.
Tantan.
It's different.
Yes, yes, look y'all. Tox is streaming abroad.
What's up,
Um,
Tan? How you doing? Walter. Spaceballs. Hello.
hi. Good to see you guys. We need a shout out for Tantan. Oh, actually it did it auto. We got the auto shouty. Well, feel free to shout
Oh.
out yourself out again. Hi Curl.
What's up, Cardo? I'm in Japan
Hey,
in my
thanks for
little
the
hotel
sub.
room.
56. We've been doing this. We've been affiliate for 56 months. Or over 4 years. Some 5. We got Evie here. I wish I could take a picture because she's got her legs crossed. She's a proper lady. See if I can show it a little bit better. Oh no, I can't.
I fly back the 11th.
That's not so bad. I thought it was gonna be a little longer. Okay.
Well, I've already been here a week and some. So I'm halfway. I'm at the halfway point. Or a little less, technically. And I hardly know any of the language, and I feel very dumb.
Evie, do you have anything to
At
say?
some point, they're gonna ask me, do I want a bag, and I'm gonna answer correctly. It's gonna happen.
Have you learned any
I
new
even like learned the
words?
word. I've not seen Japan side quest. I'm in Tokyo, and then I go to Hakone for like 2 days before I leave. That's my sightseeing. We're gonna do the Hakone loop, which I'm told involves a pirate ship, some trains, a gondola. There's like a volcano. I don't know. It sounds
Volcano.
made up, but apparently it's real.
One of my friends said we should climb the mountain over there.
Fuji,
Yeah.
very nice.
Hi Noctis. Good
Hi, Noctis.
to see you
Hello,
guys.
hello.
So
Oh,
what
I'm not going to Fuji.
what have you done so far besides work? Anything cool yet?
Um, oh, we went to this like it was sort of work because it was like a work party, but they had an intern who was the last day, so they rented out. We went to this. It's hard to describe. We went to this place and it kind of had like a pool and a bar, and then it had these like little, not quite cabins, but like rooms where you could grill your own meat and vegetables. And so, like, when you arrive, they give you like frozen meat, and you can go pick a bunch of vegetables out of the stand based on how many people you have, and then you just kind of like have a little hangout space where you can like grill the vegetables and stuff and hang out. And it absolutely started raining, but we were like inside of like a little pod, and uh, at one point I was like, "Am I gonna need to like swim? Like, is this a swim situation?" It was raining so hard, and
Oh,
I caught a lightning bolt on camera, which was fun
oh
because it
wow.
was like absolutely just. It went from being totally fine to being downpour, back to being totally fine in the span of like 2 hours.
Sheesh.
And the food was good. Got to hang out, and then like the bar, all the drinks were included in like the package. So you just got a wristband, and you could go to the bar, and they just give it to you. It was amazing.
That's pretty cool.
Um, there was like one guy on the whole place that could speak English, so they gave us like the English guy, and he was super chill. Um, it was a good time.
All right. Any
Oh, I went to the Kirby Cafe.
What? Did you
I
have
got into the
pictures?
there's a Kirby themed cafe. I got pictures of the food and the wispy in the center. There's a giant wispy in the center of the thing, and he's wearing sunglasses in LA because it's summer. And the food was remarkably good. I had a Kirby burger. So they make like a pink steamed burger bun so that it doesn't turn brown, so it stays pink. And they like brand Kirby's little face into it. It's fun. And oh, the dessert was crazy. They have this like moose Kirby car, essentially. I can post it in the Discord. I'll post it in the What You Eat or whatever it is. What channel it is. Hang on.
Hi, Phoenix.
This car is insane.
Zem, who do you want to give your sub to? We're gonna do the raffle tonight, by the way.
Oh.
The mystery raffle. Quick question for chat. Is anything sounding off with the mic? My mic, not Talks.
I mean, my mind's off too because
Okay.
travel.
I just see it like hitting some high notes here. Cool. Talk sounds quiet.
Uh-oh.
Here, let's push Talks up a bit. He's using different mics than normal, so might be.
Might be able to bump it up myself in Discord.
I can do it. It's okay.
Okay.
All right, talk to us a bit.
I have sent some pictures to the Food Adventures channel in Saren's Discord.
Ooh, we can look at them.
Delights.
Let's pull them up. Oh, look at Kirby. Cute.
Look at the car. I don't know how they did it because, like, I could see the mold for the base, but, like, look at the mirrors on the car. Like, do you have to pipe those on after you demold it?
Hey, Q.
How is that possible?
What was your question again, Talks? How to what?
So, like, as far as I could tell, it was like a whipped moose that had, like, gelatin or whatever to, like, stabilize it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I could see how you'd have a mold for the base shape of the car, but then the mirrors that stick out the side is like little mirror arms,
Mm-hmm.
You have to pipe those on afterwards because, like, if you had that shape, you wouldn't be able to get it out of the mold.
I think that they use the mold
For the mirrors. Do you think they just froze it and then?
Well, I've done something. I've done bunny. I've taken out bunny ears. They're a little taller than that even. And
so it's just silicone and you just stretch it or whatever.
Were the thingies? Yeah, it would be silicone likely. Yeah. Was this solid chocolate? The rear view mirror things? Because
it's the same texture as the rest of his like car. It's like a whipped mousse gelatin kind of situation.
Oh yeah, then they froze it then. Yep.
Okay. A little transfer for his eyes, and then there's a piece of cake underneath. And then this was a big fluffy pancake with a scoop of strawberry ice cream on top.
Hey Q. Hi Sub. Hey everybody. Welcome in. We are just looking at the Kirby Cafe pictures from Japan. From Lord Talks. I really like adding fruit. What was the sauce? What was this drink? I don't know. Liquid.
A syrup because it was a pancake, so it was like a
fluffy
maple
pancake.
syrup. Yeah, big fluffy pancake with some strawberry ice cream.
You're
really
not late.
Good strawberry.
We're just starting. Actually, we haven't even started.
You're precisely on time.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Ooh, the burgers over here. Wait, we got a burger and then we got pasta.
Yeah, it was a very strange plate, but weirdly it worked. Everything was pretty good, like really delicious. The stars like a little like potato cheese, like fried thing, and then a meat sauce on spaghetti for some reason, and then a burger. And in the cup was this corn soup that was really delicious.
Corn
Like
soup and
prob-
marinara and mozzarella stick
all over the
thing
place.
and a hamburger. That's a lot of food too. Like
Yeah,
it's like
all over the place.
2
And
entrees and 2 apps.
and it was delicious. The soup was by far my favorite part about like favorite tasting. Just give me more of that corn soup, and it came in the tiniest little cup.
Oh, it's cute.
And the last shot's just the park, or the not the park, the restaurant.
Scenery. Wow, this is very aesthetic. This is like what you'd see at a theme park.
Right?
Yeah.
It's in the like Skytree Mall.
Wow. That's cool.
It did feel a little bit bad digging into poor Kirby's face, like the first bite, you know, where you have to like scoop out his face.
Nice.
Anyway, this is Kirby Cafe. And then tomorrow I'm going to the Ghibli Museum, so that'll be interesting.
Oh, the Ghibli Museum tomorrow? Ooh.
Yeah.
I hope you take pictures.
I had to wake up at 5 a.m. to get tickets and wait in like the virtual queue before I flew out. So I had to fight hard for these Ghibli tickets.
Someone posted in pets. Who posted their pet? God. Oh, I want to see pictures too. Oh, Zem posted the cat. That is what she's doing right here on the side. Yes, you're gonna have a great time. I know it. Rocket, thanks for the sub. 35 months. Rocket, I'm sure you saw this, but I sent you a message. You won last month's mystery box. Ayy. So you get to pick what we make one day. I'm sorry, Tox. I think you were trying to say something.
Oh, Wolf asked me if I went to the website. I did go to the website. I haven't like taken advantage of it though. I ran out of time for trip things. I am unfortunately here for work, so, and I basically didn't stop working all week, except for like the Kirby Cafe and the grill, but that was also work because it was a work party. So.
Yes, cute kitty. That's Evie. Shakira. Shakira. Yeah, Rocket, you get to pick an item that we make. Okay, so on the list, my redeem list right now is tiramisu from Homie, and we have something chocolate and peanut butter from an IRL friend.
Ooh.
And I think I'm pretty caught up. In the past, we did focaccia and eclairs and
Eclairs turned out so good.
Olive oil cake. Oh yeah, yeah. I was surprised
pictures?
too. I was like, whoa. Okay,
pictures.
Walter and everyone, but especially Walter. He's gonna be like, oh my god. But I just discovered what the M.M, and I might even be calling it the wrong thing, but the M.M on the camera, you know, like it's next to ISO and an f-stop, and I realized, I looked it up finally, and it said it tells you when your shot's properly lit or not. Um,
Very cool. I still need to learn how to use that.
creme brulee balls on a stick? Creme. What are you doing to me?
How?
Is that even a like? What are you trying to do to your rocket?
You gotta
Trying to
rotate
burn
it
down
real
the
fast.
house, huh? What is this? Creme brulee
You
balls.
need like
How?
several blowtorches.
I'd have to freeze it. No, I don't know. I don't know how to do that, Rocket. Where did you get this idea? Where's this from? Is this TikTok? We can think about it. Maybe let's have a midnight mass. We're gonna have a midnight mass tonight with our guest, who is a mystery.
Ooh.
Waveform. Tried and failed. You need me to latch on. Oh lord. How you doing, Scandium? Hey, Scandium, thanks for the sub. I have to put into the box Scandium. Motherfucker. Yeah, you MFer. I mean, not you, Scandium. You're great. Thanks for the sub. MFer. Scandium, 12 months. I appreciate you. You got cake? What kind of cake you got in the oven? It's timing out. It's MFers like y'all. That makes this all possible.
I didn't know Epps has JJ as an emote. That's crazy.
Wait, is Epps here? Where's Epps?
No, Tantan used.
Oh yeah.
Used J. Jonah Jameson from Spider-Man laughing. I love J.K. Simmons as
my memory has been jotted. I think that Epps did a blurb like when we were in the loading soon screen. I'm so high Epps. He is amazing. Welcome back, Phoenix. Okay, I think you should have a backup idea, Rocket. Okay, so in the box, though, I gotta put Rocket again. I gotta put Scandium. Zem, who did you want to champion you? Hey, Noctis. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Noctis.
Y'all, check out Noctis,
Happy
by the way.
belated birthday, Noctis.
Ooh, what did you do for your
birthday? Past Monday.
Monday? Okay. Can we get a shout out for Noctis, actually? Noctis is a streamer as well. I was just hanging out in Noctis's stream. I think it was yesterday. I forgot the name of this game. If you could remind me. But they were at like a gas station, and I don't know. It was like World of Worlds. There was spiders, aliens. I came in at yes, that. And tell me more about this game. What is going? Is it like Five Nights at Freddy's, where you're like trying to survive the gas station apocalypse or something? Capitalism and demons.
Is that the one where like there's like aliens that pretend to be human, and you have to like figure out them by like they're bad at pretending, and so you can like sometimes they'll be like malformed or like say really weird things.
Skinium is making a cake by Dory Greenspan. Buckwheat with nutmeg. I am growing to really appreciate buckwheat. Buckwheat.
I had soba last night. I had buckwheat noodles.
Oh yeah.
They were delicious.
So tell me more about that. So you dipped them in the sauce.
Yeah, I had dipping soba. I don't know the proper name for it, but essentially you get the soba cold noodles, and you get them on like this basket almost. It's like it's a plate basket, you know. So it's not it's like they steam them on it or something like that, you know. So like it's a flat woven thing, and you get that on the plate, and then you get like a little bowl of broth, and the broth is like really intensely flavored because you don't like drink the broth or whatever like you would with a normal soup. You scoop up some noodles with your chopsticks and you dip them in the broth, and then a little bit clings to it, and they kind of warm up a little bit because the broth is also like ripping hot, you know. And then you eat the noodles, and they're really tasty.
Sounds good.
And I've had them a few times. Like in New York, there's a few like soba restaurants that will give you the dipping soba, and it's delicious.
Obey, consume. I actually know this reference. I walked in on Sam watching that movie on YouTube, I think, of all places. And I got kind of sucked into this movie. Do you know which one this is, Talks?
No.
It's like really, it was a really old movie. When was that movie? I don't know the name of it. Zem or Walter will have to tell me, but it's.
Is this the one
really
where
old.
he's? Oh yeah, it's This is the one where he puts on the glasses and you can see the I haven't seen it, but They Live, I believe.
Yeah, it's kind of
John Carpenter.
They Live.
It's on my list of movies I need to watch.
Buckwheat pancakes. Hell yeah. I'm curious about it too, Scanam. I hope you post a picture and an update at some point. I hope everything's okay with the computer, because we've got like the little loading symbol on the mouse key, which concerns me. The mouse key? You mean the cursor? Hello?
The mouse key.
The mouse key, yo.
I like where your brain went. That's fun.
Sheesh, I need to like vet what I say before I say it. Your brain is supposed to do that, but not over here. Let me skip that. Okay, so we've been here a little while. Do a little quick recap. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, quick recap of July in case anyone here missed it. So this is just our OBJ channel. We did street food. Here was our art from the fabulous Kenny Durkin.
Yay, Kenny.
Yes, Kenny is awesome.
I really liked his art this month.
Yes, especially this month. I love the silhouette. Very cool. You'll see this again at our end credits. There's a lot to look at. Yeah, no, I just archived this. Our guest gladiator last month was Summer Wisteria. Can we get a shout out for Summer? Summer's awesome. And she took us to Japan and Korea and took us around and looked at street food. So that was really cool. If I haven't already published a VOD, it'll be on YouTube. And I don't think I have it on this page. Sorry. But we'll shout her out when we're on the slideshow. But yeah, I will publish a VOD on YouTube, and if I haven't already, so you guys can forever watch it when you're 30 years down the road in I was gonna say in the retirement. How old are we? Maybe like 50s, 50s, 60s.
I mean, do I get to retire in 30 years? That sounds pretty great.
If you try.
That's what I heard. I get to be retired in 30 years.
Try hard enough. Poutine. All right, y'all. So we are gonna go over to the reel and watch that real quick, and then we'll do a deep dive in the slideshow. So we shall BRB.
The reel.
ください。ありがとうございます。
No! Oh, life is difficult. Ah!
I forgot to show that I did send it to Talks. So, because I always like to get permission from people to post their bloopers first. I like to, but you know, sometimes it doesn't happen. But we all have bloopers. Bloopers are great. It's like my favorite part. If we could just have like a whole reel, like dedicated bloopers, that should be a goal. Just a Kitchen Gladiator bloopers panel. Speaking of which,
Really fun.
please send me your bloopers. Or other people's bloopers. Yeah, either works. Or clips in general. A movie that's only bloopers.
It's sort of the show that goes wrong. There's a play that's like whole shtick is like the play is just falling apart as it's going on.
Pauline, thanks for the follow. And hey, also this reminds me, quick shout out to just verbal. We'll get in the shout outs in the slideshow. But from me, we have 2 new members of Kitchen Gladiators this month. Pauline OP, and Sab 3Bs5. There they are. Both are food and drink streamers, and you guys are kind of new to. Are you guys are both relatively new to food and drink streaming?
I think so.
I think so, but I could be wrong. Let us know if we're right. It's a blast. I'm glad you like it, and the musubi looked really good. So we're gonna actually, head into the slideshow now. Make it that sorted. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Peter Pan. Oh, Chris loves that show.
The Goes Wrong show?
Yeah, he loves it.
I saw the one on Broadway, or I guess it's technically off Broadway, but it's close enough to Broadway. It was very good.
I'm glad you guys both had a good time. April for Sob. Okay, nice. Cool. Hi, Kitty. Cat has something to say? Hello? What do you want? Oh, now you're quiet. Okay. Did I miss anything else that we were supposed to start with?
Let me check the itinerary. 1 second.
Alright, in the meantime.
Nope, we're good. We're at the right spot in the itinerary. We'll go over the individual submissions.
So 9:10 right now? Alright. Yeah, let's get this show on the road. And we have an important announcement that we're gonna make after we show the Minotaur's skit here, announcing August challenge. So we're gonna go through this, and then we're gonna do the Minnow skit, announce that challenge for August, and then we're gonna tell you guys about the announcement. Let's fucking go! Yeah, we have been working really hard to try to do some cool stuff this, like, the rest of this year. So I'm excited. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to, need my notes. Shit, what am I doing? How come the presenter notes get lost? Oh, here they are. Here they are. Here they are. We're good. We're good.
They can hide.
Oh, me. This is me. I got notes on me. All right. So, I actually did this like the day before this month on stream. Hi, Kitty. Yes, yes. You're the main character. I know. Tengulu. So this was my first time trying these, like tasting them even. I did like them more than I was anticipating. I thought they would just be straight up too sweet for me, but they're kind of interesting. The one thing that I can't get past though is how thick the coating on it was and how crunchy. So it's pretty unpleasant, and I tried this 2 occasions thinking that I did it wrong the first time, and I'm probably doing it. I'm definitely not doing it as good as these vendors, but I just can't get past how the crunchiness of it.
Not your preferred texture.
Yeah, but I have seen some videos online where they're like got this really thin strand of sugar and they're like wrapping it around the object and rotating it really fast. I'd be willing to try that. Who knows if it'll be any better.
It looks sort of spun, almost spun sugar.
Julia, welcome in. Hi.
Hi, Julia.
All right. I also did one more item. Able skewers. They looked really sexy. This would do well at a market. So taste wise, I thought they were okay. I did feel like they were a little too dense, and like nothing too special flavor wise. But Zem was defending their honor. He really liked them, and he said I was being too hard on them. But I do think with some tweaks, like they could be like really good. There is another similar item, and we had this whole conversation on how to say it, and I even like clipped them. This is actually on Homie's stream, and these are all Mighty Mango mates. Seth the Hex, he was telling us how to pronounce it, and she got it right, and I clipped it, but I lost the clip. But I think it's like pufferche, something like that. But those are yeasted, whereas these were chemically risen. And I think that I would like the yeast ones better, especially if I try to modify it with some sourdough, because they'll be like really light and fluffy. Damn,
And a lot
judgmental. Yeah, no pastry safe. You should try them, Wolf. I also think people would really like them. Eps. Hello, Eps.
Hi, Eps.
Yes, I was super happy with the way they looked. That's like a chocolate cookie butter. Kind of like Nutella, but with cookies on top there. Yeah, it was good. Fresh Cafe. They are calling me out. Oh, hey. I know this guy. Okay, so, we got Sam here. Sam really surprised me. He said he wanted to make hand pies. Usually I have to really like coerce him into making any sort of pastry, so he just chose on his own. Quite exciting. So I had a fun time watching him do this. And he was like really good at this part. Like way better than I am. And I've like been paid to do that. Like, Zem, where did you learn this? What, have you been like holding out on me?
Levels M crimping.
Yeah. And look how they turned out. Nice and crispy. A little.
Okay.
Yeah, Zen doesn't want to make pastry, so he doesn't want me to know. The cat's out the bag, indeed. Tox is handsome. Look at that. Chat, check out your back, Tox.
I appreciate it.
I want to be handsome. All right, Chris. Would you make pie dough again? If so, what would you be filling it with? Also, he did cherries. So cherry filling here. Really good job. And like trying to do this photo shoot with Sam, I was like, Sam, please, because he's holding it like this. I'm like, why are you holding it like it's like you're gonna like shoot somebody with it? What are you doing? Like Like for some reason you could not. So I had to be like, hold your hand like this. Put the hand pie down, Zem. Thanks, Noctis. Indeed. Alright. Tis your turn.
Next we have Snot Rocket, who made churros. And are these chocolate churros? Or are they just crispy? But they look like they might be chocolate.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Rocket kept us guessing. I keep saying
Rocket kept us
Rocket, but
guessing.
I think he prefers Snotty. It's really hard for me to say Snot on stream. I'm gonna try though. I'll try real
My
hard.
bad, Snotty. Snotty made some churros, and they're great. And I'm curious.
What do you mean it's not the right spelling?
Because...
Sorry, Tox. I'm sorry. Please continue.
There's the dipping sauce. Was there any dipping sauce with these churros? Like, don't you normally dip churros? Isn't that a thing?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had many churros, but I feel like they normally come with dipping sauce. So I'm curious. I'm curious both if the batter was flavored and if there was a dipping sauce.
Well,
great, and look how much sugar they're clinging to that sugar. You know, they're not skimping on that sugar. I've seen some churros, like they sell churros in the New York subway. They got the churro ladies. They're holding out on the sugar. Snotty isn't holding out on the sugar.
They do look good. Yeah, I would like to know what you dip them in as well, Snotty.
Anyway, they look beautiful, and I want to eat them.
Beautiful.
And they should be delivered immediately to me for disposal.
I do love churros. Churros are like definitely soft spot.
Oh, it's me. I made Kirchisklatch. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly, but it's Hungarian. Someone was it you, Phoenix, that pointed these out in my chat? Someone pointed these out because one, there's the Hungarian Kirchisklatch, and then there's a different name for in the Czech Republic. They sort of like co-opted them, and there's a group of people that in the Czech Republic that are very upset that they are so popular there because they're not Czech food, but they came from Hungary, and they're normally roasted on a spit, and I didn't have that, but I did find a video that was like you can make them if you just get like a soda can and wrap it with foil. You can wrap the dough around the soda can and bake them standing up, and it worked fantastically. And they're really delicious, and they were really easy. It's a yeasted dough, so you do have to wait for it to rise, but they were remarkably easy to put together and baked up really well, and they're tasty. And sometimes I didn't have any like fillings or anything. I did do some whipped cream, but as you saw in the blooper video, I dropped most of it on the floor. So, but some I've seen they like fill with it. They put chocolate and nuts on the inside, and you can kind of peel it apart. You can so you can kind of eat it because it's spiral wrapped around, and the spiral like comes apart, so you can like peel off little bits of it, and it's super fun, and it's tasty, and it's not terribly sweet, but that's why you dust it with sugar. And there's the full one. Oh, and I put sugar and cinnamon on the outside, but there's lots of different flavors and variations, so you can kind of mix and match.
If you did these again, what would you pick to put in them or around?
I saw some videos or pictures of like melted chocolate on the inside with like small chopped nuts, so that like you get, as you peel it apart, you get like a layer of chocolate and nuts, and it looked really fun. And I just didn't have enough time to like do it. And the other thing I would try, sometimes they use them like essentially as ice cream cones. So I'd want to get like a cone mold and then make it more cone-like, because mine's a straight tube. and so it's not going to hold ice cream if it's a straight tube,
It's
right?
also, that would be
ice
a lot of
cream's gonna
ice
trick
cream,
through.
yeah.
Yeah, but if you got the right cone mold, then you could bake up like these really delicious, like yeasted ice cream cone.
That sounds good.
They're best eaten like right out of the oven because they're normally like they're a street food, right? So they're roasting them, and then as soon as they're done, they like pull them off and they hand it to you. So I ate mine like right out of the oven, and it was delicious. I was really surprised how easy they were and how delicious it was. The effort to taste ratio is really good with these.
Nice. Yeah, they turned out really nice. So, and I learned a new item. I never heard of these before.
Me either. They just look like fun, and they were. I had so much fun making them.
So now we have Titanium Chef. I was really looking forward to the stream, but I did miss it. Titanium, I don't think is here right now, but I was really curious what flavor these were, if anyone happened to be around. I have tried making Turkish delights once. I was like somewhat newer to pastry, so I was like 19. They turned out really bad. They were like gray slugs. It was like inedible. So these look really good. And I actually discovered that these are street food when TC was talking about them. There's like, I saw there was a bunch of vendors and they just have like so many different types of flavors and everything. It's actually quite cool looking. And then I discovered through that there's like these sort of indoor outdoor spice markets. It was really cool. TC did two things. He also did something called Snag in Bread, also known as the Aussie Taco. This was my first time hearing about this too. I had to look up what snags are. Spoilers, they're sausages. But yeah, no, this is, it looks like he's got ketchup and sauteed onions on here. I'm wondering what else they're served with. Like, is it always with ketchup, or is there like some variety to these things? Maybe it's just like whatever you feel like.
I feel like this complicates the is a hot dog a sandwich debate with the bread.
I remember growing up, whenever we ran out of buns, we would have to use sliced bread. That like soft white, bread. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I was always like, oh, we have no buns. But it was very nostalgic seeing the white bread with the sausage.
Yeah, I want to eat this.
I want to try
immediately.
It. Yes.
Deliver immediately.
Hot dog is a taco. Rosewater, probably. Oh, you got to watch Q? Oh, strawberry. Oh, I can see that since they are pink.
Oh.
That sounds cool.
Craddle made breakfast poutine.
Yes.
Sausage gravy, chopped mozzarella, Italian sausage. Yeah, what was in the gravy? Well, I love poutine so much. So I would breakfast poutine is I want it. Please.
I've never had poutine. I need to try it still.
Oh, it's so good. Any excuse.
I'm sure it's poutine. Great. Fries, sausages, cheese,
for
gravy.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
Oh, the poutine in Montreal is so good. Oh. But it looks delicious. And I don't know. I like French fries. I like gravy. I like cheese. This is doing a lot for me. I like the.
I want to put in my mouth. Same though. Same. It's too bad we don't have like a Kitchen Gladiators treat. We could all like someone makes dinner every night. We'll have a whole like month of street food. For our neighbors. We'd be real tired of some of these challenges by the end. X is living in the city of poutine.
Montreal is a wonderful place to visit.
Yeah, I need to visit Canada one day. From what I hear, though, it is really cold quite a lot of the year. Sounds like the sunshine days
summer.
are quite numbered.
It's not too bad.
A commune. Alright, we have one of our new members, Sob5. And Sob did a funnel cake. I got to catch this stream. She mentioned that these were the funnel cake fingies, and these are the funnel cake brains for the Minotaur. Welcome back. So
What was in the gravy?
the great. Oh yeah. What was in the gravy? Crawdon. Served with chocolate, strawberry sauce, and whipped cream, and of course powdered sugar on top. A very canon funnel cake. I love funnel cakes. It's like sometimes I would just go to a festival just because I wanted a funnel cake. It looked like they looked really tasty.
Yeah.
Was it worth setting up the fryer to do these, Sab? Thanks, Sam. And do you think you would ever like sell the funnel cakes, Sab, since you're doing the baked goods stuff?
So, Opaline OP, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, new Kitchen Gladiator as well, made Mitsubi 3 ways. You have spam, the normal traditional spam musubi, fried spam musubi, and chicken karage musubi. I unfortunately missed this stream, but I love Mitsubi. It is delicious. And these look absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So in the bento tray was furikake chicken karage and creamy Japanese mayo with gochujang and sweet chili sauce. Oh my goodness. Making me hungry.
Yeah, I love musubi.
Just delicious.
She opened my eyes to some of these newer sorry, not newer, different ones. So the chicken karage, yeah, I've never had that. I've only like here they have the traditional spam.
Right.
But I'd like to try the chicken one.
Yeah, how's the fried one? Is that like deep fried? Like
yes. So she I got to see the stream. It was with a spring roll wrapper and then it was fried. But I missed what Pauline thought of the of that one in particular at the end.
I mean, I would eat all of this. The fried musubi was a little difficult. Oh no.
Was it worth all the Oh, okay. Came out great. I mean, yeah, can you beat like a fried stuff? Isn't crunchy and worth it?
Absolutely. Great pictures too. I like all these
yes, they were really
like the cross sections.
Very satisfying.
So good.
How did you get chemical burns, Sab? Something in your pot? That's cool. You're gonna make him in the bakery. Nice. Cool. Cool. Cardot says gravy was mostly basic country sausage gravy. Fat, flour, salt, pepper, sage, milk, half and half. Oh, nice. What kind of fat
Delicious.
did you use? Well, awesome. Now we have Q, and Q did a lamb gyro.
Ooh.
So my question for Q is, did you buy your gyro meat? Did you make it? And where did you end up finding it if you ended up buying it? Because I remember we were kind of talking about this on stream. And I've been finding, or I've been seeing it trending on Instagram. There's some cool stuff. Very inventive ways to get the flat meat that they're doing. We don't have a lot of good gyro spots over here, so I usually end up making them at home.
Oh no.
No
last minute gyros.
Yeah, not too good. Also, you can buy the same meat that they're using. Because I worked at a restaurant that sold these. So, like, Restaurant Depot has it. Like, all the restaurant supply stores have the gyro meat, but usually it comes like, they kind of look like you know, the things in your shoe, the inserts. That's like literally like the size and the shape of them, and you like, they just come in like little skinny ones, kind of, typically.
Yeah.
You can buy a higher quality meat too, but this is usually what people tend to kind of use at some places. And you just like kind of take them apart with a little knife, and you like keep them frozen. You just like grill them because they're like really thin. And homemade tzatziki is really good. I used to think that I didn't like it, but it needs to sit overnight. Flavors meld, and it's like really good the next day. That's how I feel. You can buy pans with skewers that you can use in the grill. Oh, so you did make it. Well, it looks really good. Yeah, it looks pretty spot on it. That's cool. Oh, Pauline has tried the baking sheet method. That's cool. Tzatziki is super easy to make. That's another reason why I like it. Oh, the Euro spot is selling hamburgers, tacos, hot dogs, and seafood bowls. He's not even lying. Extra vendor fat. Okay. Sausage, chicken fat, bacon fat. Oh, okay, cool. A variety. We're doing on time. We're doing okay.
Delicious mix.
Yeah.
A blend. Okay, we have an ad coming in 1 minute. We'll probably get to Walter.
Yeah, we can get through Walter. Probably. And I'll just
So
snooze it
Walter
if we don't.
Made oyster omelets. So he was traveling, so he managed to do some on the road cooking, which is very impressive. And the Minotaur, I'm sure, is pleased. HOA sweet potato starch chili sauce, and found some local eggs, green onions, and fresh island oysters at a local fish market. That sounds great.
This was cool to see, Walter. It's neat. He was on the road, y'all, while he did this.
That's talent right there. What's the sauce on top? I missed what the sauce was. A mixture of ketchup, chili sauce,
we are in
chili sauce, soy sauce, and miso.
So we'll pause for a minute and we'll revisit Walter.
It was so fast.
Yeah, the ads usually are late too.
It started on time for the first time.
So it'd be. I can catch up in chat. I've never had anything like Walter's dish here. It's pretty cool.
So it's. I don't want to talk about it until we're out of the ads.
Yeah, what should we talk about? What time is it for you right now, Tux?
10:30 a.m.
What is the nicest looking, like, is it scenic over there? Anywhere so far?
It's pretty scenic. Like, I mean, I've mostly been in the city, but like, as far as cities goes, it's pretty scenic. You know, it really kind of feels like it's. I mean, obviously they make the art for anime and stuff based on the thing, but having only seen that, it feels like it's ripped straight off the page.
Wow.
So everything is so Japanese. Like, you know, it's not ambiguous at all. Like, you could take a picture on any like corner and you'd be like, that's Japan. Like, even if there weren't signage, you know. It is so quintessential. And just like the fun little side streets, we walked maybe like 10 minutes to go to a restaurant, and we had to like weave through these like little side streets, and just how like quaint they were, you know, and little restaurants and things nestled in all the density. I mean, in Tokyo, so I can't speak for other parts, but very fun. The subway's interesting. I discovered that if you have an Android phone, you can't tap to pay.
Oh.
Unless you buy your Android phone in Japan. They like turn on some different software thing. So I had to get like a physical card and I have to like reload it. It's kind of annoying. But still kind of fun.
Huh. Interesting.
Also, the subway line all the stops are numbered, which is kind of interesting. So like in New York, it's just like the cross street, right? So they'll be like, this is the 50th Street stop. This is the, you know, Lexington and whatever stop, Lexington 53rd stop. But here they have the name of the place, right? So I'm in Roppongi, and all of the stops are numbered. So if you're getting on, you can just be like, oh, I'm getting on at, you know, stop number 4, and I need to go to stop 12. So even if you can't like read the stop chart or whatever, you can just figure out which number you need to go to, which is kind of really nice.
That's cool.
Also, the cars drive on the left, which I did not realize until I got here.
That would stress me the hell out.
And I was like, oh!
I could not.
The default walking seems to be on the left as well. So like in America, you know, it's like you walk on the right side. And so I keep causing problems because by like just subconsciously default to walking on the right. I get in people's way. So it's like, no, walk on the left. Walk on the left.
That's interesting. Oh, they are back. Yeah, Walter, I was saying that I've never had anything like your dish. It's pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. I hope to try something like this delicious. Someday.
So it's kind of like the starchy slurry that forms the base of the omelet, and then you got the oysters and that fun chili ketchup sauce on top.
Oops.
Those fresh oysters though in that picture. Dang.
Walter.
Sorry. You just moved on.
You mentioned in your post that Taiwanese street food is legendary. So what other legendary street foods are out there? I'm really curious. Moving on, we have ame ame with some beautiful skewers here, lamb skewers specifically. Would you guys have guessed that Ame used an air fryer and then finished them off with a blowtorch to get that nice,
Whoa.
characteristically charred exterior? She said they were perfection. So that's very cool because I've been trying to use my air fryer more and more, especially instead of the deep frying. I've been liking it, but this gives me hope that all sorts of things can be done. Y'all have air fryers? What have you been impressed by with the air fryer so far? I'm gonna have to get Zem to try this out with me. So I get another shot here of these delicious skewers.
Mm.
And then we got some bao. And I got to see this part of the stream. I got to see her folding the bao buns, and it looked very therapeutic. So Ami mentioned that she's had these at Shanghainese restaurants and on the street in various Chinatowns in different countries. She also said that they're supposedly eaten as a breakfast food item in Shanghai. They are similar to Zhao Long Bao, but the casing dough is more like what you'd find at Sea Manto. And they're made with yeast. And she said that makes it easier to fold.
Wow.
She wanted a more juicy filling, and so she used something called like a cheat aspic from Hungry High with agar-agar and beef bone broth stock to amp up some meat umamis. And she listed it as the bao of her dreams.
Well, now it's the bow of my dreams. Look how crispy the bottom are. Like the pan. See here?
Mm-hmm. She also mentioned that she took a Momo wrapping class. I had the opportunity to try Momos this year. They were just like really good. Definitely like shot up to some of my favorite street foods. The ones I had were like a little spicy, so I might be like kind of partial to that. Another dumpling that blew my mind was soup dumplings. I've only had those once, and I was just like, now I want them now.
I'm so mad. I had a soup dumpling place in like a 5-minute walk from my apartment, and they had like this combo meal where you get like soup dumplings and like this like sweet soy drink and like some little noodles on the side, and then they closed. And now I'm soup dumplingless.
Oh no.
I mean, there's more soup dumplings in New York, so I can still get them, but like the convenient place that was down the street that I really liked, they closed.
Sad.
And now I have no xiaolong bao.
Oh, I said it wrong. Shao. I should have known that because like Shao wine. It's the same. Oh.
Pronunciation's
Yeah.
hard.
Especially because we see a lot of different language words, so sometimes I get like mixed up.
Yeah.
The buckwheat cake is done. It's a little bland. I noticed that with buckwheat. Yeah, it kind of takes away. Still tasty, and you think it would be good with jam. What kind of jam?
Oh, yeah. Help it with the flavor a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Been really partial to apricot jam lately.
Jam.
Some more legendary Thai food: deep fried stinky tofu, popcorn chicken. Ah, yes, popcorn chicken. Crystal dumplings. Never had them. Scallion pancakes. I do love a scallion pancake.
Crystal dumplings. I'll have to look that up.
What kind of wrappers with the crystal dumpling? Chicken soup. Yes, chicken soup dumpling. We have our last one.
Oh, it's like hagao. Which I'm pretty sure I got the tones wrong, but please forgive me. Oh, Lynn. Okay, speaking of words that are tough to pronounce, made tetobaki?
Doboki?
Maybe? Toboki?
Doboki, yeah. This one I do know because I like ordering it. It's good stuff here.
Which are little rice cakes made with rice flour. But Lynn tried using wheat flour, and it sounds like it didn't go so well. But I mean, the photo looks good.
They do look good. Yeah, she said
Fish
that
cakes.
they were disintegrating the wheat flour instead of. She said she would be using rice flour probably next time, or going back to using it.
Yeah.
I've only ever had them with rice flour. I love how chewy they are. The chewy and the spicy is just. And I do like these fish cakes too.
Right. I believe I've had these. I've gone to like a Korean fried chicken place and ordered, like, got them as like a little appetizer or something like that. And they are delicious. And I want them.
Hell yeah. All right. That was our last street food for this month. Great job, guys. Everybody did
Thank you,
awesome,
everyone.
and it was very cool to see a lot of these different things. Learned a lot of different street foods I never knew existed, like what Tox made, the snag, the Aussie tacos, and Walter's dish too. Like,
Lots of fun stuff.
it's cool to see all this stuff I'd never seen before.
Got new things to try.
All right, are we ready for the next one challenge? Mr. Minotaur, where you at?
Mr. Minnow.
All right, y'all. We will see you after this Minotaur announcement for next month's challenge.
It's awake. Oh my God, did you wake it up? This thing showed up in my labyrinth, and I made the mistake of giving it a tiny, insignificant little morsel of food, and now it won't go away. Or let me sleep. The only time it sleeps is when I'm wide awake. Gladiators, I need more than food this time. I need wizardry. Concoct me something stimulating, be it a brew or an occult powder, preferably dark in hue. Be it outright or hidden, I don't care. As long as it keeps me awake, it will do. I need coffee. Beans.
Coffee, coffee, coffee. Uh-oh.
Whoopsie.
Oh no.
Well, I didn't do it after the reel, but improvements, slow improvements. Don't we all need coffee beans after being harassed by our feline friends? This was actually a little I should be unmuted now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It was inspired by my cat keeping me up every single night for a while there. I figured out why she was doing it. She needed access to her throne. AKA my office chair here. So the minute
wow.
I just started letting her in there, every night she's been not a peep. Everything's fine. Everything's copacetic. Queen just needs her throne. Homie, thanks for the sub. 33 months. Hey. Coffee beans, y'all. All right, let's go over to Discord real quick. Ooh. Okay, why are we there? I guess we left off at the hold on. At the Speak of the Devil. No, actually this is the other cat. Not the the one that was making my life difficult. Okay,
It is a coffee challenge, yes.
alrighty, here we go. Our August challenge. Submitting content for Roundup Reel 8/24. Stream Roundup event last Friday of the month as always. 8/28, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Here's our Kenny Durkin art for the month. As
art so much.
always, Kenny does amazing work.
His face. Best tyrant.
Yep, world's best tyrant. Coffee challenge, y'all. Okay. These are my notes. Coffee beans. Originating in Ethiopia according to legend. You can Google the legend about dancing goats and you'll see it. Coffee beans have moved to many locations around the world. And have branched out to become various cultivars with their own unique pros, cons, and flavor profiles. So this month, the challenge is going to be utilizing coffee products in any form. The Minotaur wants to cook, bakes, and drinks with this miraculous little bean. So our guest is, of course, Spaceballs is the username. If anybody doesn't know, Spaceballs is a wonderful food and coffee streamer and a kitchen gladiator. He's been with us for over a year. I think is when Spaceballs originally applied. Yeah, can we get a shout out for Spaceballs? Por favor. And then I just have some notes here. In terms of baking, I think we all know coffee can be an excellent flavor profile. Coffee is known to bring out the deeper flavors of cocoa. You could substitute some of the liquid or water for coffee in a recipe, add some espresso powder, or even use a coffee extract. But y'all, you can also do good cooks with coffee. So coffee rubs on meats, steak, barbecues. There's even a gravy that utilizes coffee. And I saw something called coffee butter. So no excuses, y'all. You can cook with coffee if you want to. So we have some announcements that we're going to try to run through real quick, and then we'll probably revisit after we get with Spaceballs, because we're getting close to his time. And I will be posting this on the objective as always. So I have a couple links. There was some interesting history coffee in Thailand, and this kind of opened my eyes a little bit to some processes with coffee beans. I didn't realize I never thought about quite how involved it is. So speaking of how involved coffee is, this month, I actually have I had to rewrite this, so I'm going to scroll down. This month is going to be the first time that we're going to have team fundraiser for a charity. So the charity is called Food for Farmers, and it's dedicated to fighting food insecurity with coffee farming families. And I'll take you guys to this link to kind of look at it. Of course, the charity is optional. So, feel free to join it. I'm going to put all these links here. So if you wanted to either run your own campaign, you can do that and link it to the Kitchen Gladiators main campaign. Or if you want to support, but you don't want to have a campaign, or you're not streaming, here are some links to do. Either you can do donate to the team itself. All this is going to go to Food for Farmers, but doing individual campaigns, it's kind of like for your individual communities if you want to do that. So I have, but you can do it for KG itself, and then I will have one too, and I'll be doing a charity stream. I think mine's going to be on the 23rd. And I have some information on that we'll share probably after Spaceballs. I'm losing my voice. This is a lot of talking. I'm trying to like run through this because I hate being late to the guest speaker stuff. Okay,
I can talk about what the charity does if you want that. Well, you want to rest your vocal cords.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So the Food for Farmers essentially helps coffee farmers in the months where like coffee is not the primary crop. So they have like this big bust and boom and bust type thing where they produce a lot of coffee, and then there's months where they're not producing coffee and they struggle in those months. So the money in Food for Farmers goes to helping them, get the things they need and diversify their income streams. So like planting some vegetables and getting beehives and things like that, so that they have a more evened out revenue stream. So important stuff for the sustainability of the coffee farmers, so that they don't run out of food in the time of year where the coffee isn't harvested.
Yeah.
It's important stuff.
Yeah, so I'm going to be sharing the link to the charity website themselves. And so you guys can look through here yourself and kind of see everything. Thought it was really cool. They have like listed what they've been doing. So they've done over 27,000 trees planted. 1,400 plus beehives managed and maintained. And these are the countries that they've been supporting this year: Mexico, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Colombia. So this is cool. I just really wanted, there's a goal that I've never done a charity before, so I wanted to really try to do that, and I wanted to offer for you guys to do it with us. I think it'll be really fun, so that in the future, one day we can possibly open it up to, really advertise it throughout all of Twitch, in the bigger areas, and be comfortable setting up such a large endeavor. But anybody can join, of course. So spread the word. I know that there's lots of coffee streamers out there that I don't know. So yeah, Q, if you know some people that would be interested, and they don't have to do the charity either. They could just, do our challenge if that's what they want to do. But it would be cool. Red Eye Gravy. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Hi, Wobniart. Sorry, it took me a minute to get to you. Yeah, exciting. Alrighty, so for anyone that needs help setting this up too, we can help you out. Well, it's not too bad. I learned yesterday. Tantan helped me. Thank you, Tantan. So we'll be around. So Tox is Spaceballs around? Whoops.
Spaceballs is having a slight webcam issue.
Oh, okay, no problem. You can help him if you want, and I can catch up with chat and we can talk more about this. It's no problem. Let me catch up with chat. Wobniart, how you doing? You didn't get to do what you wanted with the last street food. I'm gonna go to Talking Heads. Oh, you don't like coffee? No coffee. Oh man. Sorry, Wobniart. Is there anything, any coffee substitutes, y'all? So for me, I don't drink coffee anymore because my brain can't handle it for some reason. I miss it. I sure do. Wabnier, I think what you could do is like, I would say there's always creative ways to go about it. What if you made something that one would normally pair with coffee? I think that's a fair, because the challenges we should make them so everyone can participate. So it doesn't actually have to have the bean in it. If you guys want to do plays on things, so if you want to do a different type of tiramisu, that's an easy one. But also if you wanted to do like croissants, because I say croissants because that's like my favorite thing to pair with coffee. Which reminds me of a question I wanted to ask you guys. What do you think is like the peak coffee and food item pairing? Can be anything. The first thing, I didn't like coffee for a long time. And then and when I did have coffee, it needed to be really sweet. But I had this very not very sweet coffee. And I had it with a croissant. And I was like, wow, I see why people like this. And then there's a Brazilian place that I like, and they serve their coffee with these rectangular chocolate treats wrapped in aluminum foil, dark blue aluminum foil. I can't remember their names, but they're wafer cookies with layers of chocolate. So to have that with a barely not sweet iced coffee and the take a bite of the chocolate is very good. I miss that. You want to be cheeky and adopt a new cat? Use a cat's feet beans. Oh, for shame. It is lovely to see you. I started a bagel campaign recently, but someone else started a schmear campaign. Tee-hee. What flavor schmear are we talking here? Yeah, I thought it was a really good cause too, Tantan. It was exciting. They cream you. Walter is down to stream 1. Clear Coffee is a huge coffee streamer. Oh, cool. We'll have to check Claire out. You have an abundance of coffee. What shall you make? Okay, I do have another announcement. Speaking of brainstorming and stuff, for a while now, let me get back to browser. Actually, let me find it first. So for a while now, I've been trying to find a better way for us posting our inspo, because Discord is it's not the nicest to look at, right? So if I can find it, there it is. All right, no. Oh, my Discord's kind of like been annoying me because it keeps opening in the wrong browser, but I figured it out. Okay. Okay, here we go. I found it. And let's go over to browser. Oh, the browser's not working. What happened? What's going on? Here we go. Look at this. So I'm gonna share the link with y'all, and it's kind of fun because you don't need to log in, you don't need a username, nothing. But everyone, you just need the link, and then you can get on here and you can see and you can put stuff, all sorts of stuff, and then they have like all sorts of clip arts if you want to use it, but you can put links and people can visit them. I have some tips here and some rules. Basic stuff. Fine if you want to be silly. Let's, you know, try to keep PG-13. Definitely keep it Twitch TOS because then I can't show it off, you know, if something's going on here. 100% be respectful of other people and no hatred, no discrimination, you know, none of that stuff. Obviously respect, don't delete others' contributions, you know, like don't mar their stuff up, you know. Everybody just be decent people about this. But yeah, so also so you can lock stuff that you put on here and how you do that. So whenever you click something, click the little lock.
What timing for issues? We got my microphone died, but anyway, I've got the other microphone. But Spaceballs has fixed his camera because he's a wizard and he's ready.
Oh, okay, great.
Are we ready?
Yes, let me.
Sorry, I tried to say something and then I realized my camera or my mic died at the same time.
Oh, okay.
But we are back.
We're so back.
Spaceballs is ready. Are you ready?
Let me just get through these chats and we will head over there. I just showed them the whiteboard. Pauline says, so exciting, you've been wanting to do a charity. Awesome. Would this be your first charity, Pauline, or have you done these before? Streaming. Tiltify we're going through Tiltify, by the way, y'all. So that seems to be kind of the meta. You're gonna try to make something that you'll like, Q? Tiramisu is good. Croissant. Coffee and chocolate is, yep, that's a great pairing. Biscottis, for sure. Coffee and butter toast. Ooh, your dad's default breakfast. Oh, cool. You reminded me. I think it was like in the video I watched in Thailand. They do toast with the pandan custard. I love that stuff, so I might actually have to add that on. Butter waffle cookies. Never heard of that. I'm gonna have to look that up. Tintin. Yeah, barbecue rub, stroop waffles. Bravewood Beanery. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm a little getting lost. Brands. Robot on coffee. Yes. I hope robot. I hope we can get robot in here. How could he say no?
Yeah, I think he was moving. So I think he might be ready this month.
Charity raid train.
Stuff again.
If so, Walter, if you wanna like set something up, we can look into it. But right now, Tox is with him out of the country. It might be a little hard for us to set up a bunch of stuff. I'm also a little bit busy with work. But we have some plans for the end of the year, like really big plans.
Some stuff happening.
Yeah, so my focus has to make that happen. I'll have to be focused on it, but I promise you, like, we are trying to do like some really cool shit with that. Okay, we are caught up. Let's go over to Spaceballs. Da da da.
Drag Spaceballs in.
I think this is the right one. Oh yeah, bring him in here.
There he is.
Hello.
Oh wait.
Hello.
So I have to explain this. Spaceballs. Yeah, I'm over here taking screenshots.
What's up?
She has the wrong source.
Awkward.
Awesome.
Let me just
She took a screenshot of your stream so she could get your.
Yeah,
your
so I could
layout.
get the formatting because I know we weren't. I'm just like looking at you. All right, here we go.
You
All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey, everyone! A warm welcome for Spaceballs. Ugh, I had to write up about this. I wrote about you.
Oh,
Hold on. You guys weren't supposed to know that I wrote this down.
surely
But
only nice things.
yes. Today, our guest is someone that joined Kitchen Gladiators a little over a year ago and is one of the few and drink streamers that I know. He does cooking, baking, and coffee. It's Spaceballs the username, and he's here today to generously share his time and talk about some coffee bean basics. Y'all, ask your questions. I'll try to write them down. But thank you so much, Spaceballs, for coming in. The floor is yours.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So what are we up to today?
So, yeah, I'm going to be talking a little bit about coffee flavor. There's a lot to talk about in coffee, and if you've been to my streams, I can yap forever about all things coffee. But we're going to try and stay focused today, and I'm going to do my best to try to keep things on task, on the rails. So, what we're covering today is going to be, not that, this. We're going to be talking about a few things, namely that there's more to coffee flavor than just what you typically expect when you think about coffee. When you think of coffee flavor, a lot of people will compare it to chocolate. They'll think bitter or maybe even sour, depending on your previous experiences. But there's a lot more to it that we're going to go through. We're going to talk about different factors that can affect your experience with coffee. We're going to do a live demo of some coffee brewing, and at the end, I'll give you some practical guidance on how to improve different aspects of your coffee flavor. So we're going to, again, have a lot to talk about. I will be skipping some sections for the sake of brevity and for the sake of keeping things flowing. But at the end, if there's any questions, we can happily go through them. But also, over the course of the month of August, you need to ping me in the Kitchen Gladiators, August objective. Feel free to do so. I'm happy to answer any questions or offer any advice if I can. So really quickly, this is a bit of an eye chart, so bear with me for just a moment. This is a chart of all of the different flavors that have been identified in coffee according to the Specialty Coffee Association. This is not an exhaustive list.
Sorry,
Oh, geez.
you're on the wrong scene.
Okay. So sorry.
How much do I need to start over?
Just when you
the
started
flavor
looking
chart?
at the chart here.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going through some examples of what's on here. So are we good right now?
Yes.
Great. So in this top corner here, we've got a label fruity, and then you can get more specific. Different types of fruits or categories of fruit. You can have within like berry, you can get as specific as blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, strawberry. And then down in this other corner, you can have some not great flavors. You can get really specific on what type of not good flavor you get. So these are, again, not exhaustive. For example, in the other fruit section, you can see a lot of different types of fruits here. But one thing that I notice is often missing from these is banana, watermelon. Again, these are just what other people have noticed. At the end of the day, everyone is going to be able to pick up different types of things in their coffee drinking experience. So going back to the presentation here, we're going to be talking about some broad strokes, things that affect flavor. And I've kind of categorized this loosely based on one, what you buy, two, who you're buying it from, and three, you, the person who is brewing and drinking the coffee. And we're going to mostly be focusing on the two latter sections just because first section is there's so much to talk about there, and this is the stuff that I like look into and try to learn a lot about and talk about a lot during my own streams. But at the end of the day, I think that for this challenge, the latter two sections are going to be more important. So, who you're buying it from, which roaster is taking the green coffee and transforming it into something that you can enjoy, and then you yourself, how are you brewing it? What is your palate like? What are your preferences? And these factors are all interrelated, and we can touch on a little bit of how they are connected as we go through it. But yeah, we're going to be kind of working our way backwards, starting with talking about your palate and what you bring into the coffee drinking experience. Everyone's taste buds are unique. Physically, they are going to be different from person to person, and one person might taste pineapple in a coffee, and another person might taste something that reminds them more of strawberry. Your taste buds are physically going to be different, so you're never going to have the exact same drinking experience as another person. But more importantly, your perception of flavor is driven hugely by the human experience. What are your experiences with different types of foods? If you have positive or negative association with certain flavors, that's going to affect your ability to pick up on certain characteristics. For example, also like if you, for example, have experience with eating an apple, and someone says on the side of a bag, this coffee tastes like apple. Well, is your experience with eating apples Granny Smith? Is it Red Delicious? Is it Honey Crisp? Um, are they when they write apple, are they thinking fresh apple? Are they thinking cooked apple like in an apple pie? There's so many different factors that go into the nuance of flavor. And ultimately, it's up to you to explore and see if you can identify those, and also preference. Just because there is an apple flavor in your coffee doesn't mean that it's something that you will necessarily enjoy. So I definitely encourage you to try to be adventurous and try different things, but also try different types of foods. I will say that in my personal experience, my journey has been starting from coffee. I'm seeing all these flavor notes that I don't recognize, and it's actually encouraged me to try and eat different types of foods that I might not have otherwise tried before. So think of this as something that can be just really enriching to your day-to-day life. Um, this next slide has a lot on here, so I'm going to try to cover this as succinctly as possible. Um, just first things first, extraction. It's a term that just means how are you moving the particles of coffee from the coffee bean into your brew water to create the final beverage? So higher extraction means a larger amount of your coffee beans are in your finished brew, and lower means there's less of it. Coffee freshness is something that you also need to be really aware of. So ideally, you're buying coffee that where the roaster has told you when the coffee was roasted. So depending on how dark or light your coffee is roasted, the optimal time to drink is going to change. Most of the time, you'll hear common guidance that you should drink, your coffee fresher, but I think that that's probably broadly true for coffee that you might buy at a grocery store. But if you're buying directly from a roaster at their cafe, you might want to be aware of that and be mindful of how fresh you want to drink it. So the darker you roast, you probably want to drink it closer to the roast date. So maybe 2 weeks is probably a good time to enjoy it. If it's a medium, maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and a lighter roast probably a month or longer. And it can really change from roaster to roaster. Try things out and see what you like. Finally, the factors that actually affect how the extraction works. You have grind size. How do you get your coffee broken out into smaller pieces that are easier to infuse into your water? And then there's some other kind of notes here that I have. certain coffees can be a little bit more porous or more brittle and can have an easier time uh, creating fine particles that are easier to over extract and can also clog your filters. Brew ratio is how much water are you using versus your coffee. So a typical brew ratio for, let's say, a drip coffee is going to be around 1 to 16. But depending on the roast level of your coffee, you might want to do more or you might want to do less. Generally, with darker roasted coffees, you want a more concentrated ratio. So for every 1 gram of coffee, you want 14-ish grams of water. For something that is a lighter roast, maybe 1 to 18, but 1 to 16 is a good place to start and just be in the right ballpark. Water temperature is another important one. Generally, darker roasted coffees, you'll want to use cooler water, so maybe 80 degrees Celsius, versus a really light roast, you might want to go 95 Celsius. Sorry, I don't know offhand what the Fahrenheit conversion is. Mineral content for your water is something that can matter. I'm not going to touch on this because most people aren't going to have a way to manipulate that easily. And then finally, flow or time, depending on how you are brewing. So percolation is if you're taking clean water and then putting it through your coffee, and it's like draining through, like in a drip coffee machine or an espresso machine, versus immersion, where you're just letting the ground coffee sit in water. So this is going to be more reminiscent of tea. So you can think of this like French press or cold brew. So depending on how long you choose to let your coffee sit in the water in the case of immersion, or how quickly the water drains through your coffee in the case of percolation, those will affect your extraction. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in the demonstration. Um, Roasting. This is the other really important section that I'll want to touch on today. The first thing to know is that roasting is a destructive process. All of the coffee flavor potential in coffee, you saw that earlier on the chart where there might be 20 different flavors possible in coffee. But when you roast your coffee, some of those flavors are going to get lost. Not all of the flavors in any given coffee are going to necessarily be good. So losing some flavor in the roasting process can be a good thing, and it's on the roaster to kind of curate which flavors they want to present to the person who is buying the coffee. Um, and because you're cooking the coffee in the roasting process, there's a few different things that are going to be happening. There's going to be a little bit of caramelization. There's not a meaningful amount of sugar in coffee. Um, and there's also going to be loss of carbon dioxide, and that's going to cause your coffee to gradually become a little bit more brittle, and that's going to affect how it gets ground up later on. So darker roasted coffees will be a little bit more porous and will be able to easier extract later on in the brewing process. Um, in your experiences with drinking coffee, you might have felt that coffee is very, like I said before, bitter or sour, and that can be because of a few different factors. Darker roasted coffees can be bitter because they're easy to over extract. Lighter roasted coffees can taste sour because they are easy to under extract. If you find that you have a if you find that you have a mix of both bitter and sour, probably what you're having is um, an uneven grind, perhaps, or an uneven roast. There's a lot that goes into this. We can talk about this, diagnosing what's wrong with any particular experience with your brewing. And also another note is decaf tends to roast a little bit darker, all things otherwise being equal. So it's just something to be mindful of when you are choosing what to buy. Finally, just a couple quick notes. I didn't really have anywhere else to to put these in, so just some things to be aware of. Instant coffee. Basically, the way that instant coffee works is in a factory, they're brewing the coffee and then they're freeze drying the coffee and then turning it into a powder. So when you're thinking about extraction, not that doesn't really apply anymore because the coffee flavor has already been extracted. And the only thing that you're manipulating when you add it to water is the concentration of the flavor. So you can use that to your advantage. If you, for example, want to use coffee flavor in a baked good, but you don't really want to have to experiment too much with hydration of your baked goods, instant coffee is really great for that. And then another thing to note, cascara. Cascara is basically the coffee fruit. when you make coffee and you're processing it into green coffee beans, there's leftover product called cascara, which is the fruit. It's mostly coffee fruit is mostly just pulp and skin around the seed, but you can still use it to create something that is kind of brewed like a tea. Um, I don't have a ton of experience with this, but it is a very unique flavor profile, something that you could look into. It's not super common to find, but it's out there. It's not terribly expensive. Definitely encourage you to see if it's something that sounds interesting to you. Especially if you don't like the flavor of traditional coffee, it is a way to still participate in this month's challenge. All right, I've done a lot of yapping. We can do a live demo right now. So we're gonna do a couple different ways of brewing coffee here. I'm going to be focusing on immersion brewing methods because it is going to be a little bit easier and more accessible for people who potentially don't have dedicated coffee gear already. Because I don't know that it's the most practical thing for you all to go run out and buy crazy expensive coffee setups. So first things first, I'm going to do a cold brew. This is probably the easiest way to make coffee, and it is also a really great way to get some of the coffee flavor without without risk of messing up. Let me explain what that means. So I've got right here a mason jar. I've got ground coffee. I did this ahead of time just to keep things moving along. The pieces of gear that you need in brewing coffee generally are going to be. Well, I think that the pieces of gear that I really encourage you to use are a scale and grinder if you can grind fresh. Um, the scale is going to be great for providing consistency, though. The reason for that is if you're measuring by volume, same thing with baking, where if you're measuring by volume, different coffee beans can have different densities, and it can cause some inconsistencies in your results. So best practice is to use a scale when possible. I have a dedicated coffee scale. Even a kitchen baking scale can be fine in those situations. But here I've got a mason jar with 60 grams of ground coffee. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take kettle and I'm going to put 360 grams of water in here. So this is a 1 to 6 ratio. The reason why you want to use a tighter ratio with cold brew versus the 1 to 16 I gave as an example earlier is because you're not getting the temperature um, benefit for increasing extraction. You're just going to kind of brute force it with time. And yeah, this is super, super easy. I like a 1 to 6 ratio, but I know a lot of people prefer 1 to 4, 1 to 8. Using a scale makes it really easy to try things out and see what you like. I've got water poured through my coffee. I'm going to put a lid on this, and I'm basically done. I'm going to set this aside for, I usually like to let this sit for up to 48 hours. Usually what I'll do is like 24 hours at room temperature and then maybe another 24 hours in the fridge, just to kind of cool things down, slow things down. But the nice thing about cold brew is because, or in immersion in general, is you don't have to worry as much about over extraction because it's easy to just finish your or drain your coffee faster. To You're not going to over extract as easily with it as well. And cold brew is especially forgiving because again you're using cooler water. One of the things that's about cool water is that there are certain flavor compounds that cannot be chemically extracted without the water being a certain temperature. Um, some people will say that as a result, cold brew just cannot taste as good as hot brewed coffee, and whether that's true or not ultimately depends on any given coffee, and like I said, your ability or preference for certain flavors. But I think that cold brew is a really great thing to try, and again, it is super easy. Mason jar, that's it. So we're going to come back to this in 48 hours. The other example I'm going to show today is we're going to do a French press. So French press, this thing costs $10 from IKEA, I think. Super easy. It is also an immersion brewing method, but this one is going to be brewed hot. For this, I'm going to use a scale to measure out, what do I have here? I'm going to measure out 20 grams of coffee. I think this is, and these are, I'll talk a little bit more about the coffee itself in a little bit. This coffee is roasted pretty light. So you can see there is still some chaff on the coffee itself. There's no oils on the surface. There's a little bit of texture in the coffee still. So that's to me a nice way to tell that this is like actually a light roast coffee. Um, so as a result, I'm going to brew this a little bit more aggressively than I would if I were using a dark roast. So what I like to do when I grind my coffee is just give it a little spritz of water. This helps cut through some static that can build up when you're grinding the coffee. I'm gonna grab my grinder. And grinding fresh is usually ideal. Not everyone has access to a grinder. Um, if you are interested in buying a burr grinder for this, or buying a grinder, I recommend a burr grinder, whether it's conical or flat. Um, Blade grinders can work, but you'll run into some trouble with even grinds, and that's going to make it easier to end up with the combination of bitter and sour flavors. So, where possible, use a burr grinder. If you're buying your coffee fresh from a cafe or a roastery, you can ask them to grind it for you. It's going to be usually the grinders that they'll use in a cafe are going to be pretty high quality, and you'll get very good results. But there's going to be a period of where the coffee is going to be best consumed while it's still freshly ground. So usually within 48 hours. So depending on how quickly you go through your coffee, that may or may not be practical. All right, we've got ground coffee now. That's sitting there. And then I've got my French press. Once again, I'm using my scale here. And what I like to do here is I like to start off by pouring my hot water. I've got 20 grams of coffee. I'm going to do 300 grams of water. This is a 1 to 15 ratio. It's a little bit more than 300. It's fine. I'm going to dump all of this in at once. And I'm going to grab a spoon. The reason why I like to do water before coffee, even though most people will probably do coffee first and then the water, is because all of the coffee grounds will get wet at the same time. And I just find that it helps to encourage consistency and evenness in how you extract. Because if you're pouring the stream of hot water directly over your coffee grounds, some of those grounds are going to become more easily over extracted. So all I'm doing here is I'm starting my timer and I'm taking the plunger of my French press and I'm just resting it on the surface of the coffee. This method for French press is basically a modified version of James Hoffman's French press recipe. So I'm going to set this aside. Usually I will let this steep for 6 or 7 minutes, depending on the coffee. This is a coffee I've roasted myself. I don't really know what it tastes like yet. I don't know that it's even good. So I'm just gonna let it go for 6 minutes and hope for the best. In the meantime, while that's steeping, you know that the coffee that we made cold brew earlier? Well, thanks to the power of movie magic, we've got some coffee here that's been steeping for 48 hours. So we're going to deal with this real quick. This is just a little silicone spout thing here. Um, the coffee has been sitting for 48 hours, so all of the grounds, the big pieces, are all at the bottom already, which is good because I'm going to be pouring this out through a coffee filter to drain. Basically, I want to make sure that I'm catching all of the fine particles, and just be nice and easy. I have access to all of this stuff, so it's really easy. You know, if you can use a mesh strainer, this will still work. But one thing I don't like about a lot of immersion styles of coffee is the grittiness that you can get from French press, for example, or Turkish coffee, and cold brew can exhibit that as well. So we'll just let that finish draining. And then in a few minutes, we'll take a look at the French press. So these are actually brewed with the same coffee. So we can taste the differences and see how the flavors present differently when brewed cold versus brewed warm. I think we'll call this good enough here. There's a little bit more, but all fine particles there. One note when if you are choosing to do percolation or a pour over or drip that has a paper filter, do not resist the temptation to squeeze every last drop out of the filter because you will end up bringing out more of those flavors that you don't want in your coffee. The over extracted flavors are usually the ones that are going to be left behind. So just trust that those flavors are not necessarily the ones that you want. All right, we've got some cold brew here. We'll give that a taste in a little bit. Probably another 2 minutes, and then I will start pouring this out as well. So we'll have two carafes, one for cold, one for hot. I've been yapping a long time, so apologize if I've been flying through any of this. Saren or Tox, if you want to ask questions now, I think now's a good time.
Okay. I've just been trying to
Fascinating.
like locked in, trying to absorb it all.
It's exciting.
I sure do have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, hit me.
I feel like I should stay away from coffee process questions because you're kind of covering a lot of these. I don't want to double back until maybe afterwards. So maybe some
Okay.
more personal cooking and drink questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what like really got you into like making food, cooking, baking? When did you start? Like, how did you learn? Kind of stuff.
I don't consider myself to be much of a food person, to be honest. I don't feel like I ever know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of going for it. I started cooking on stream because it's kind of like co-working for me. And I say this all the time on my own stream, but if I don't do something on stream, there's a good chance it doesn't get done. So I needed to start cooking on streams to make sure that I wasn't just going to allow myself to be lazy and end up eating out like I did for a really, really long time. So it's I think that participating in Kitchen Gladiators has actually been a really great experience for me. Even if I don't participate, I'm just getting ideas and seeing other people take risks to make something that they've never made before has been really helpful for me to be a little bit more adventurous. Also, like I said before, trying to pick up different flavor notes in coffee that I don't recognize has also encouraged me to try things that I wouldn't have been brave enough or curious enough to try before. So yeah, I think that a lot of it has been, I would say that I'm not passionate about food. I am passionate about coffee, and my interest in food has been in the service of furthering my passion for coffee. I know that's a little bit
That's
that's a little
cool.
bit weird.
I like that. I believe it too. I saw a Netflix documentary on sommeliers, and it really opened my eyes to how intense the training for tasting drinks
Yeah.
is. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not at that level. I think that I am still very much learning. In the early days of streaming coffee stuff, I think that when I was tasting any given coffee, I'd be like, "This is kind of sweet," or "I like this, I don't like this." I wasn't able to do a very good job of explaining or articulating what I liked or didn't like. And being on stream and talking about this stuff in real time and, being okay with discomfort in not knowing how to explain what I was experiencing really forced me to get good and to be a little bit, to slow down and to be more observant and to really just appreciate the experience of the coffee in addition to the food as well. Over the course of the last maybe 2 years that I've been cooking on stream and not just doing coffee, um, there's been, some people have seen me like tweaking and like just being really nitpicky about certain foods. Um, and I think that when I first started cooking, I would just be like, yeah, let's just get the end result I want to eat. And over time, the more and more I make something, the more curious I am about, well, I like this as it is right now. It hits the spot, but could it be anything more than that? And that's the kind of experience that I hope that people will consider looking for with this month's challenge. Again, because there is a lot more to coffee flavor than just coffee, but it's admittedly not super accessible to everyone because most of people's experience with coffee is going to be filtered through the lens of diner coffee or office coffee. Instant usually, and I think is probably what a lot of people will have in their home. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's you might not feel like you know what you're doing, and I'm happy to provide any sort of guidance or advice to meet you where you're at if this is something you're interested in taking on. Okay, the coffee has been drained, so I'm going to give these a quick taste. I'm gonna grab a couple glasses for this. So on our left, or I guess on the screen it's right. This one is the cold brew version of this coffee. This is what coffee did I use? I think this is a Rwandan coffee. Again, this is stuff that I roasted myself. There's a good chance it won't taste good, so please don't let this affect your perception of coffee as a whole. I'm doing my best. I'm learning, but I don't really know what I'm doing yet. Okay, this coffee, super, super sour. I'm getting a little bit of like raisin flavor, so just like dried fruit. So this tells me the sourness tells me something that is the cold brew is under extracted, and I can probably explain it by the fact that I let it sit in the fridge most of the time, not on my countertop like I normally would. I was out yesterday and I didn't want to leave the AC on for this cold brew, so I threw it in the fridge. And if I brew this my normal way, it probably wouldn't have turned out this acidic. So it doesn't taste bitter though. Like I said, a lot of flavors cannot be extracted with cold brew, and that's why a lot of people who think that coffee is really, really bitter, or too bitter for them to enjoy, I would encourage you to try cold brew. Just because a lot of those bitter flavors cannot easily be extracted, and maybe it'll make the experience a little bit more enjoyable for you. So, same coffee, but brewed in the French press, hot. Yeah, this one's very smooth. There's no like harsh sourness. It's not bitter. I made sure to lower the temperature from my normal temp on this one to kind of make sure that I was keeping it pleasant. I'm not really getting the like the raisin kind of flavor that I got in the cold brew though.
Real quick, would 1 minute
Yeah.
from now be a good time to take our ad break? I've snoozed it a couple of times, so.
Yeah.
Or should I snooze again?
I think you can. I think we can have the ad break, and we can use that time to have some questions. And I'll also have one final slide that just has like some parting notes of advice, and we can leave that up for a while we answer questions.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good. I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So same coffee, two completely different flavor profiles. This one, just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on this. Right now, it is tasting like It's very mild. It's almost kind of like tea, and as the coffee cools down, the flavor presentation will be a little bit different. If you're dealing with hot coffee, just be aware that your perception of certain flavors is going to change with the temperature of the coffee. So when it's freshly brewed, you might enjoy it, you might not, but let it get to room temp, and your experience could be completely different. So encourage you to try different things, and see if I think be open to your mind being changed about any one given coffee. Yeah, there's certain techniques and that are going to be better for coffee, and I'm happy to answer questions about that.
And we are in our ad break now.
Awesome. I'm gonna keep drinking this.
Well, yeah. So I know you said you're not a big food person. Would you say so far you enjoy cooking or baking more?
So I did a little bit of baking in college, mostly because I wanted to eat baked goods, and if I didn't make them myself, no one was going to make them for me.
Fair enough.
I think I'm a lot better at it now because I didn't used to use a kitchen scale. And I think that they scratch completely different itches, right? Because baking is science, and cooking, it feels like jazz, you know. But the first time I make
Jazz.
something, the first time I cook something, I kind of follow a recipe very strictly, and then after that, I kind of like bend or break the rules however I feel. And I think that cooking has been a really fun challenge for me in that way, where like trying to encourage it lets me lean into the lazy side of me that sometimes you just don't care, and you just want to go for it and see what happens. And I think getting in or starting to cook more consistently has been really great and really fun in that regard. Whereas baking, I think that a lot of times it feeds into the neurotic side of me that's like, oh, I didn't do exactly 300 grams of flour. And I kind of have a little bit of that with coffee. And the more I've gotten into coffee, the less I've cared about being 100% precise. Yeah, so I'm right now kind of somewhere in the middle. Like coffee sits somewhere between cooking and baking for me, but definitely right now cooking is I'm having more fun with.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I like how you worded that. That's a good way to explain the differences. But also, like you said with the coffee, the more you kind of know how to do it, the less, at least for me, the less I need to really like measure as much, because I'm starting to understand all these underlying processes and stuff, and getting a more intuitive sense of how to do things. And we're back from the ad break.
Awesome.
So do you have any goals this year for your food? Like the cooking and the baking? Or are you just trying to keep it like whenever you feel like it?
I think I want to be more consistent with it. I think that's like I always will do something coffee related on stream. I don't always cook on stream, and it is something that I think last year, like after I participated in like the pizza challenge, I did so many iterations of pizza that
It's
I
a
kind
good
of
one,
burned myself
pizza.
off on cooking.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
and they were like it was like 6 months where I didn't cook anything at all. And I've finally gotten back into like a creative mode where I want to try new things. I want to try making something that I've never had before, and I'm trying to ramp back up or ease into it gently because I don't want to do that. But I have a long list of different dishes that I want to try. Yeah, and it's I think the goal is ultimately to not burn myself out again.
Okay.
I have certain dishes that I'm very curious to try, but I'm not gonna force myself to get to it. It happens when it happens,
When are you like most comfortable with like what's your most comfortable or best dish that you would say? If you have, one off the top of your head.
I don't know if I'm ever truly comfortable. I'm gonna be so real with you. I think that there's there's always the part of me that's like, I'm not doing this right,
Mm,
and I kind of just like suppress that part of me when I'm, in the moment.
a
The thing
mood.
that I
Yeah.
probably make the thing that I probably have been making the most often though, uh, probably has been so recently I've been making a lot of iterations of uh, a lot of Taiwanese like pork belly based
Mm,
like meat sauces. So um, yeah, so I've been playing around with that and trying to see like, hey, can I can I just kind of pick whatever seasonings and go for it? Been using or incorporating a lot of soybean paste into my cooking just to get like a nice thick texture, or exploring how I can incorporate Taiwanese rice wine into dishes and creating like a stew. So yeah, I've just been trying to see like outside of the classic Taiwanese dishes, how do I take these ingredients and just like try and see how well they mesh with other things, and really just trying to go for it. I think that I used to, before I really started getting into cooking, I think that I was trying to just keep my dishes very, very plain.
mhm.
And that definitely didn't make eating the food that much fun. And yeah, just sometimes you just gotta live a little. You gotta just let yourself experience nice things. And that's definitely something that I've been pushing myself to do more since I started participating in Kitchen Gladiators. Again, trying to move away from being purely utilitarian and using it as a means to yeah, expand my horizons a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah. And then maybe in turn, trying these new flavor profiles, helping you with your coffee
Yeah,
palette expansion.
for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah, yeah. All
What?
right. I'm gonna quickly show the last slide here. So, um, just some recommendations for you. Uh, I've tried to not talk about gear too much. Um, at the end of the day, the coffee that you're buying is going to matter more than the gear that you use. Um, I would say again, minimum gear that I would recommend you have is a scale, which you should, ideally already have access to a scale for if you're baking. But using a scale will drastically make a difference in your consistency, because if you're not being consistent with how much coffee or how much water you're using, you don't really know if any other changes that you're making are actually going to provide the result that you're looking for. So strongly recommend using that. Um, if you can swing it, getting a nice grinder is really nice, but it is going to be a little bit more expensive. So if you care enough about coffee, definitely invest in a grinder. But for those of you who are not into coffee and just want to participate in this month's challenge, the scale is a good one to start with. Second point, immersion. There's again the reason why I focus on immersion in this demo is because it is just going to be so much easier to make sure that you're reducing the number of variables that can be causing a not so great experience with your coffee. I personally prefer percolation. I think that pour overs are I really think that it gives me a higher ceiling on how much I can enjoy a given coffee, but immersion is super, super easy and it gets you, it's just really, really easy to do. And again, very gear agnostic. So, um, again, if you don't have anything already, don't worry about pour over. Don't worry about it. Definitely don't worry about espresso. My goodness, don't do that. Um, Third point, brewed coffee is mostly water. So for a drip coffee, for a French press, most of your coffee is actually going to be water. So upwards of 90% for almost all brew methods. If you want to incorporate coffee flavor into something like a baked good, be mindful of that when you're thinking about hydration. So instant coffee is really great for just giving that kick of coffee flavor, but you can in some cases use something like espresso. You can use cold brew. I use it every once in a while when I flavor my ice cream. I've got a coffee ice cream here. There's very little of it left now, But this is flavored with. I used 1 pod of Cometeer coffee, which is an option for you all to look into. Um, it's basically like a frozen pre-brewed pod of coffee. It's kind of expensive for what it is, but it can give you interesting results. I don't think it's necessarily great for drinking by itself, but it can be nice to mix it up. I use 1 of those pods with 2 teaspoons of instant espresso powder, and it gives a good balance of your traditional coffee flavors, a little hint of the bitterness and chocolatey flavors, with also a hint of acidity from the more fresh brewed method that they use at Cometeer. Um, but normally I would just use espresso. And then a note on because I know, Sarah, earlier you mentioned cooking or baking with coffee. Um, Something to be mindful of is coffee is already cooked. So if you are using a coffee rub, you're basically double cooking your coffee, and you're going to be losing even more of the flavor that has already been lost in the roasting process. So, you know, use that if you want, but be mindful of how much you're doing additional cooking and what you want out of it. Um, and also make sure that if you are going to be, doing something with cooking, perhaps use a lighter roast so that more of the coffee flavor can still be there at the end. Um, the last point, very, very important, is I know like I talk a lot about coffee flavor and how to maximize it, but at the end of the day, you're the one enjoying whatever you create. And there is nothing wrong with using coffee that just tastes like coffee. I strongly encourage you to explore and see what other flavors you can identify in your coffee. But at the end of the day, if you like the flavor of coffee, like that's totally valid. One of my favorite flavors of ice cream is coffee, and it doesn't always taste nuance at all. Sometimes you just enjoy it. Sometimes I enjoy a Copico, little candy. It's fine. It's really delicious. So, um, have fun with it, and you can put as much effort as you feel like. You know, and that's kind of it. I'm gonna put this back in the freezer. But Saren, talks any other questions from
Well,
chat?
yes. So Phoenix, can you wants you to explain the forbidden brownie? I'm also not familiar with this, so this is new to me.
Phoenix, why? On my stream, I have a redemption called the Forbidden Brownie. For 100,000 channel points, plus or minus some points, I will pull a shot of espresso,
Mm.
and then I will take the ground coffee puck that's left over, and I will bite into it like it's a brownie.
Ooh.
Because it looks really pretty. It looks
Brownie-esque.
appetizing. And you bite into it, and I chew as long as I can stand.
Oh.
But it is because it's just ground coffee. It's like taking the cinnamon challenge.
Shit.
I've had to do it. I've had to do it too many times on stream.
I was
It's
gonna ask
awful.
you how many times you've done that before.
I've probably done it at least 10 times. At this
Ooh.
point. It's real bad. I would not encourage you to try it. Don't be curious. Let me experience it for you. It's awful.
Okay, I trust you. Well, y'all hear that? Go ahead and give Spaceballs username a follow and get those what was it, 100,000 points?
Oh my god.
Get those hours in.
Don't do it. Yeah,
Can I ask about the?
Let me take the. I can handle the trauma.
Can I ask about the Cometeer stuff? Because I'd seen like Claire Saffit's videos and like Adam Ragusia. I think they all got sponsored. Like the Cometeer people, they like unleashed the the marketing money on the YouTubers, but I'm curious how
Yeah.
how it's been because with influencers, like they're getting paid to
Sure.
tell you.
Yeah.
So they claimed that it was like more concentrated. So like Claire was like, oh, you can do like a better coffee dessert with it because it's like a concentration that she couldn't like achieve herself. And I don't know how accurate that is
Yeah.
to the world.
Yeah, great question. So for anyone who's not familiar with this, maybe your YouTube and Instagram algorithm is different from mine because I got so many ads for this stuff a couple years ago. So I bought this because I wanted to see if it was valid to give this away as like a prize if whenever I did giveaways on my stream. So I bought a bunch of these. These are just little pods. This is aluminum. I'll just let's do this right now. Show you what it looks like.
Is this your normal coffee
Just
drinking
a-
hour, Spaceballs? Do
Caffeine doesn't really affect.
you have a
me.
cutoff at
I'm
all, or
completely
like anytime?
No, my cutoff is like 5 coffees, but time not really a factor in that. So
Okay.
basically, you just run this under some warm water to dislodge the pod a little bit. Crack it open,
Kind of looks like pudding.
and yeah, it's literally just frozen concentrated coffee.
Oh.
So you could just let it defrost all the way and drink it like a cold shot. You can pour hot water over it to make it like a drip coffee kind of thing. You could also use it in cooking if you want that concentrated coffee without having to brew anything. It is. I've seen people use it, like Chris Young used it for his hot and cold coffee thing, where he wanted to have consistency between what he was experiencing and what James Hoffman was experiencing when they were like doing compare and contrasts. I think that the idea is cool. Personally, I think that it suffers from the same problem that instant coffee has, which is to say that the freezing process just inherently changes the flavor. I don't know how much of y'all have like compared instant coffee versus non-instant coffee, but there is a hint of like freeze-dried flavor in both instant coffee and in Cometeer. I think that's because of that, there's a limit to how much I can enjoy Cometeer coffee. The additional difference with this is because it is sold like there's liquid in here. It's you're shipping ice. You have to keep it cold. Just the environmental impact of drinking Cometeer versus fresh brewed coffee or instant is different. Whether it's better or worse, depends on a whole other host of factors. But for me, I find that because the ceiling is kind of limited by the freezing process and like the inconvenience, also the expense. Like these pods can cost like $2 to $4 a serving, and yeah, it's for me. I don't think that it makes a lot of sense for someone who already has a coffee brewing setup and knows what they like. I don't know that this is super practical. And also, like when I was first looking into this, you can't buy it without a subscription, which it's very expensive to commit to something like this at $2 to $4 a pop when you don't even know if you like it yet. So I didn't think it was the most practical. But supposedly you can find it at your grocery store now. Maybe it's worth a shot if you happen to find it. It might be better than what you've got otherwise. I'm gonna turn on some lights. Sorry.
So, sort of follow-up question, because the thing that interested me about it originally was like the concentration of it, right?
Yeah.
Is there any recommendation on brewing something that, because like I wanted to use it in like a baked thing or like a custard or whatever, like really, give it like strong
Punch.
coffee flavor.
Yeah.
And get all those like more like better flavor than if I had gotten like the free, like as I have the espresso powder, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna do like a
So-
custard or something, is there any
Yeah.
recommendations for brewing something, so that I could go get the beans and I could grind them and getting a concentrated one without maybe
Yeah.
an espresso machine? Because I feel like espresso is like the concentrated one, but I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, espresso for sure would be like the most efficient way to get yourself a really concentrated dose of coffee that isn't instant. Um, Obviously, it's not super practical for most people to own an espresso machine. Certainly not to buy one just for this challenge. Cold brew, I think, is probably the next best thing. Again, because you can choose a concentration that works for you. I like brewing with 1 to 6, but some people will do 1 to 4. Um, I think that doing anything less concentrated than 1 to 8 is probably not going to get you the best results when it comes to something that you might want to incorporate in cooking or baking. Like I said before, though, what I really like to do is use a mix of different brewing methods. So for my ice cream, uh, the one that's in the freezer is using Cometeer and also instant espresso powder. Normally, what I would do is espresso plus the instant espresso powder. So I like to use a 1 to 2 ratio. So one part fresh coffee, whether it's Cometeer or espresso, and then 2 parts of the powder. So I was doing, I think, 1 shot of espresso, 2 teaspoons of instant espresso powder. I don't, you know, that's just kind of what I landed on. You can play around with it, but that's what I liked. Um, yeah, the Cometeer I assume is going to be similar to espresso in terms of the amount of coffee flavor you get. One of these pods is 25 grams. I don't know exactly what their extraction percentage is, um, but I would consider it to be roughly comparable to a shot of espresso.
Thank you.
Um,
I had seen so many Cometeer things. I was really curious. Thanks for
Yeah,
taking one out of the
it's
thing. You can never tell with those
yeah,
like influencer marketed stuff, like how much
yeah. I think
the
that
rubber meets the road.
yeah. My advice on Cometeer is it's worth checking out if you happen to have it if you can try it without signing up for a subscription. But at the end of the day, it's not the most efficient way to enjoy coffee from a cost perspective. So if you really really enjoy the difference in coffee quality from Cometeer versus instant or whatever else you're getting, um, rather than continuing a Cometeer subscription, just invest in a coffee brewing setup at home. Obviously, the convenience is something that you can't it is unavoidable, uh, but there is also better quality instant that is becoming available as well. So um, yeah, there are options depending on what you're looking for and why you're seeking out something like a Cometeer.
thanks for the follow, Brooke. I recognize some names from your chat. Spaceballs, Brooke the Universe, Make It
Yeah.
Cheesy. Uh,
Yeah, all of the homies are showing up. Thank you.
yeah. Hi, guys. Welcome in. Oh, speaking of homies,
Oh,
we got a raid.
from the homie.
Hey,
homie.
hi,
Hi,
homie. Welcome. Y'all, if you don't know
Welcome
homie, check her out. She's awesome. What were you doing over there, homie? I see you were in the just chatting. What were you chatting about?
Homie's a full-time Contexto streamer.
I kind of like that game. I discovered it recently. Jimbo! Hey, Jimbo's another streamer. Jimbo's streamiversary was today.
Oh,
Welcome in, y'all. I hope you're doing lovely. We have the awesome Spaceballs username showing us a lot of coffee basics. He did go over a bunch of stuff. We're gonna have the VOD up after this, but right now we're also asking any and all coffee questions. So if you have some, put them in the chat. Chatting and procrastinating, writing a birthday card. Wow, you were very productive for stream.
Wow.
And Saren, I can send you the slideshow and
Yeah,
the chart
sure.
later if you
Yeah,
want that as
we'll
well.
post it. I'll put it on the Discord too. All these little awesome resources.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I asked you a lot about food. Did you have any coffee plans for yourself this year, like goals and stuff? Also, we have a bunch
Great
of
question.
chats coming in too, so feel free to answer mine or theirs first, whatever you want to go with.
Yeah. Well, I think it'd be rude not to answer yours first. You know,
You'll get
that's
you'll get
a
there eventually.
this is a you know this is nepotism. Yeah. So I think that's like I said. You know, the coffee that I've been brewing with today has been coffee I roasted myself. It's not good yet. It's not consistent yet. And my goal is to get to a point that I feel it is reliably not terrible. And then I can share it with other people and get their opinions and, you know, fine tune. But, you know, broad strokes, I wanted to get it to a point where I don't feel like I'm punishing anyone else for trying the coffee I've roasted.
Hurt. Okay, so we're on the coffee roasting endeavor. I was actually going to ask you if you've done it before. So how long have you been roasting that?
Yeah. I mean, on and off for around a year, but I'm not consistent with it, and I'm trying this year to do it regularly. So, yeah, like I've had a few different coffees that I you know just restocked on, and I'm trying to like figure out which roast method works better for each given coffee. Yeah, just really trying to see what works. I think that a lot of the advice on roasting coffee that I could find online or on like on internet forums or on YouTube has been centered around styles of coffee that are not really what I'm looking for. Because generally I look for what's considered ultra light. So like the coffee I was showing earlier, it's if you can see like the chaff on the coffee still, if you can see the texture on the coffee bean rather than just being smooth, like that's what I'm looking for. And that's not very common yet. It's getting more common, but I'm almost certainly not going to be finding advice on how to do that well with the gear that I'm using, which you know I bought for $20 used from a local. So yeah, it's I'm kind of just trying different things out, seeing what works, what doesn't work. I'm drinking a lot of bad coffee as a result, and you know just having fun with it.
Okay, as long as you're having fun. I like
Yeah.
that. Looks like we have some
Learning things too. There's two functions.
what? Oh, learning things. So,
Yeah.
Yes. Expanding your brain, your neuron pathways. There we go. It's good for you. I think the first
Yeah,
question is,
sure.
what are some classic savory flavor buddies for coffee? Buddies, I like that.
Saren talks, this might be a question for y'all or maybe the rest of the chat because I drink mostly like coffee by itself, to be honest. I don't really do that much like
Pairings.
I don't really do anything like savory or even sweet for that matter with most of my coffees. Like obviously, you know, you'll see like the kind of classic breakfast pastry things or like donuts. I don't do any of that though. I'm kind of a this is gonna sound super elitist, and I promise I don't mean it in that way, but I'm strictly a coffee purist.
It's okay.
Not because I don't enjoy those things, but because I just like if I'm drinking, especially coffee that I'm brewing myself, like I'm really kind of picking it apart, and everything else is a bit of a distraction.
That's fair. So okay, my research for savory. I think what you mean is already cooked food, but this might still apply. It is supposed to pair well with meats like barbecue, pork, steak. I see like a lot of rub based stuff. I see people putting it in chilies or any kind of meat sauce sort of application to deepen the flavors, similar to what you do with chocolate. It's like a lot of people's secret ingredient kind of thing. So, but I feel like I've had a good ham croissant with coffee before. A lot of breakfast food items, right?
I mean, that kind of makes sense, though.
Yeah.
You know, if you think of coffee as a breakfast beverage, you know, I guess you could. Yeah, I have not had a ton of coffee cooked into other foods, but yeah, one of the without revealing too much of what I'm thinking of, I do think that because I have green coffee on hand, it is something that I'm curious about exploring, utilizing green coffee. So
That's interesting. I might have more questions from that. So next chat from It's Your Parents. What's your favorite spice with coffee?
Thank you for not asking why I haven't called. I really enjoyed cardamom in coffee.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you've ever had a cardamom latte, yeah, the cardamom flavor is just really, really nice. I tried one time putting cardamom in my like with the coffee in my espresso machine. That might have been a little too much. I think that a little goes a long way, but at the very least, in that situation, you don't have to deal with the grittiness of the cardamom like actually in your finished drink. But yeah, like of course you can do like a cardamom syrup, and that'll probably be, you know, give a little bit of sweetness to go along to accentuate the cardamom flavor. But I thought that like even just directly in the coffee gave me an interesting result. So
that makes sense. Yeah, cardamom. Sure.
I get served coffee like short form videos every once in a while, and like watching people put different things through the espresso machine with the coffee mixed in. It's always kind of
oh
interesting.
my god,
Never seen that.
I feel like that kind of content is just designed to trigger coffee nerds.
Rage bait.
Yeah, but I'm also
Yeah.
it's like I know it's supposed to be rage bait, but I'm also like it's got that curiosity. Like I have to know what it tastes like, you know?
Yeah.
My favorite spice would be vanilla. I'm a little basic. I'm getting out there, you know. Hugh asks, what about things like using salt or butter in coffee?
I think salt kind of gets to the point that I kind of glossed over earlier about mineral content in your water. So minerals in your coffee water, they don't necessarily affect the extraction, but they can affect your flavor perception. And so sometimes if you feel like your coffee is a little bit too bitter, you could try adding a little bit of salt to kind of cut through that. Um, I know that's like butter can sometimes be found in like certain styles of brewing. I don't have a ton of experience with like egg coffee or butter in coffee, but you know it's dairy. It's adding a little bit of richness. So you know, it's something that's worth exploring. I've not done it myself. Uh, yeah, but I do think that's adding a little bit of creaminess, especially with a dark roasted coffee, especially because dark roasted coffees can more easily be bitter. Both salt and something to add a little bit of creaminess can help with that.
Okay.
Speaking of additives, how do you feel about like Cafe Du Monde coffee with the chicory root blended
That's a
in?
good question.
So I have not had Cafe Du Monde specifically, but back when before the Nestle acquisition, I used to enjoy me some Blue Bottle, and one of their most well-known drinks is their New Orleans style cold brew, which is it's a cold brew with chicory, and it's really really good. That's probably the only like cold brew that I enjoy that isn't made by myself. So, I don't I don't know what Cafe du Monde is like specifically, but I imagine because it's store bought, you don't know how old the tin is. Fresher is probably better. There are specialty coffee roasters that will sell you fresher coffee with chicory in it. So one roaster I know in the Bay Area is Kaveri. They specialize in Indian coffees and they offer a pre-ground coffee that has chicory mixed in. That's something that I've been wanting to check out, just because it's they're roasting it fresh. It's not going to be sitting on your grocery store shelf for like 6 months. So I haven't really spent a lot of time playing around with that, but it is something that I'm interested in trying. And if you enjoy Cafe du Monde, see, maybe getting it a little bit fresher could be good.
Oh, yeah.
Q brings up this particular drink I learned about during tea month, but I don't remember how to say it. So it's yerba mate, yerba mate,
Yerba
Mate?
mate?
mate.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's not coffee. I don't know if it's
like tea, I
I guess it
think.
depends on what you consider a tea. Yeah, because
It's a herbal
it's a different
drink.
plant.
There we
It's not
go.
a tea plant. Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
yeah,
But
it's an herbal drink.
yeah, it's good,
Never
but
had
I don't
it.
have a lot of experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also like I mostly enjoy it like pre-sweetened. Yeah, but I almost view it as like it kind of fits the same category of like energy drink to me,
Your
or at
parents
least
say
the
you're
ones that I've
grounded
enjoyed.
because you haven't called.
It's okay. I don't leave the house.
Oh yeah, fair enough. How did you find your passion for coffee? Like, when did this all start for you?
So I didn't drink coffee for most of my life until, and I occasionally drank it when I was, when I started working. Um, but I mostly got into it during, in 2020 because, COVID lockdowns and I had nothing better to do with my time. I was like, I'm going to buy an espresso setup. Do not do that. Do not buy an espresso setup just because you're curious. Like I didn't even know if I liked espresso at the time, but it was just like I've got money to burn. I'm gonna buy stuff and see what happens. And I spent like 2 years pulling really bad shots of espresso. And even still today, like I know more what I'm doing, but I still just don't enjoy espresso all that much compared to pour over. But I think over the course of trying to be less bad at pulling shots of espresso, I became more and more interested in figuring out if like the tasting notes on a bag of coffee were bullshit or not. I think that most of the time it is bullshit, but that doesn't mean all coffee tasting notes are bullshit. And it's up to you to kind of figure out a process for maximizing your potential of actually getting the tasting notes. And again, going back to what I was saying and like the factors that affect the flavor of coffee, um, a lot of it is, comes down to like roast and how you brew. But then there's also a lot of the other factors that I haven't talked about, which are like what is the actual coffee that you are buying? What variety of coffee it is, where it's grown, any sort of processing that is done to it, whether it's a wash process, a natural process. There's some like weird experimental stuff that involve like a lot of extended fermentations that can be really interesting to explore. If you want to try something that is completely out there and it feels like you're drinking a flavored coffee, something called a co-ferment. You can find coffees co-fermented with different fruits like strawberries, like with lychees, with orange. That one was disgusting.
Oh.
But there's so many different co-ferments out there. If you want something that doesn't taste like coffee and tastes more like juice, it's an interesting thing to explore. There's some weird stuff though, and yeah, a lot of it is firmly within the realm of experimental. But it really like my first time drinking a strawberry co-ferment coffee was the first time I was like, oh, not all coffee tasting notes are complete bullshit. And that experience with that coffee really unlocked my belief that there was more to coffee than just coffee flavor. And it really was a life-changing experience for me. That coffee is still like it's probably a little bit too intense for me to fully enjoy these days because I am trying to appreciate more subtle and nuanced flavors. But it was definitely a light bulb moment for me.
Hmm, that's cool. Well, what's the weirdest coffee you ever tried?
There's a coffee that had tasty notes of pizza.
Pizza, really?
Yeah, the tasty notes that so I tried this at a meetup with some other friends, and we kind of agreed that the flavors that we got were green pepper, mozzarella cheese, and fennel sausage.
Oh wow, fennel
Overall,
sausage.
the taste profile of this coffee was like mildly sweet, but it had like just little hints, like kind of like LaCroix level of hints of those other flavors.
Hmm.
It was super interesting. It sounds really disgusting, but I promise you, it wasn't that bad. But definitely a weird coffee, and I've tried it a couple times, and it was always just it's just fun sometimes to try something that is weird. It's probably not the type of thing that I would want to drink on a daily basis, but it was fun.
Hey, you gotta do fun stuff sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, don't take yourself too seriously.
There's a Puerto Rican coffee chain, 787, and they have like rum infused beans.
Hmm.
I think
Cool.
they soak the beans in rum or whatever. Remind me
I
of
don't
that.
know about that specifically, but I do know that like whiskey barrel infused coffee is definitely a thing, and that I also enjoy a lot.
And there's
I
like the
think that
content goes
when
through. The alcohol content goes through. Or
I don't know about in the rum one, but I think the whiskey infused one, basically, I think that the coffee is steeping in water inside of a barrel that was previously used
oh, like
for whiskey.
the aroma.
So the barrel itself is infusing the whiskey flavor into the coffee.
Mm.
Um, I've tried that a couple times. I wouldn't do it for like a drip coffee, but I think for cold brew and for espresso, if you're going to be pouring a milk drink, really, really nice. So like an iced latte with a whiskey infused coffee, really good. Cold brew, really good. If you're going to do something that is concentrate, I think that generally espresso is just it's just a lot easier if you have the setup, but cold brew can absolutely work. Um, but yeah, I find that for those types of coffees, I feel are better enjoyed cold than hot. But
Hmm.
that's my
Okay.
preference.
Do you always prefer your coffee like black, or did you have to work up to that?
I think that for a long time, when I go out for coffee, my drink of choice is usually a latte. Uh, it's just because it is definitely a safer drink. Um, I'm very particular about my black coffees, and when you go out for coffee, you can't expect that a cafe is going to meet your specific preferences. They're going to try to, you know, they're trying to make money. They're going to do whatever is going to get them good enough feedback. For me, um, I find that black coffee at home is generally what I prefer because I'm choosing coffees for specific flavor profiles. And the best chance I have of experiencing that nuance is going to be drinking it black.
Mm.
Now, every once in a while, I'll end up with a coffee that I don't like, and in those cases, I might try to clean it up a little bit with some dairy. But for the most part, I'm gonna drink it black. I pretty much never add sugar unless I really, really hate a coffee, and
Mhm.
that's very rare these days. Now that I have a better idea of what I'm looking for, or at least can kind of predict whether I will like a coffee or not. I think that in the last year or so, I've stopped I've started being a little bit more discerning about the types of coffees that I buy based on what I know about my preferences. And that has been kind of shaped through the course of 3 years of just buying everything and finding a lot of stuff I didn't enjoy.
Mm-hmm. On the note of like decent quality beans, what would someone expect to pay for like a decent quality but like also an ethical bean? What should we be,
That's,
range
yeah,
wise, if you had to?
that's really, yeah, that's a really difficult question because,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I think that, so just to give you an idea of how much it costs to, like how much coffee costs, commodity price for coffee is, this is before it gets to you, the consumer. This is coffee that is being sold to a roaster. Um, I think that it's something like $2 a pound, and that price has been mostly stagnant since the 1970s. And as you can imagine, that's not a very sustainable price for coffee farmers. Hence the need for organizations like Food for Farmers. Um,
Mhm.
if you buy specialty coffee, certain roasters will provide more transparency about how much they're paying and will intentionally partner closer with farmers so that they can give them a higher price. Um, but not every roaster is going to go above and beyond and do that because obviously they would need to pass some of that expense on to you, the consumer. Um, I think that generally speaking, it is tough to find roasters, at least here in the US, who are willing to provide that information. Generally, specialty coffee roasters are going to. It's tough because a lot of times people will assume that specialty roasters have a better relationship, a more equitable relationship with farmers, and sometimes there are people who just want to ride the hype train and kind of just take advantage of people's assumptions that more expensive coffee is also more ethical.
Mm.
It's really tough,
Mhm.
and I think that's perhaps it is easier to answer that question if you first know like how you like your coffee, what types of beans you like, and then once you figure that out, then from within that range of roasts that you tend to enjoy, it's easier to find ethical roasters who kind of match what you're looking for. But it is a very loaded topic, and it is like the stuff that in my slide deck that I cut out for the sake of time largely focuses around that about who is growing the coffee that you're buying, because it's not as simple as just you pay more money and like you're gonna get a better product. It's a lot more complicated than that, and also thinking about like you said, the ethics of coffee and what behaviors are we incentivizing in people involved in every step of the process. Are we incentivizing farmers to have better practices that will result in better quality coffee? Are we incentivizing roasters to go above and beyond and provide that information to everyday consumers? Um, yeah, it's a really loaded topic, and I do think that it is something that is very important to consider and to talk about. But I'm just a guy. I don't have answers
Yeah,
for
it's
solving
fair enough.
problems like
Yeah.
that.
Um. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just kind of recently more so saw some videos, and I was like, wow, this really is. There's a lot more to it than I didn't know. But yeah, if
Yeah.
you end up having some recommendations, and we could talk later, can write them down and like put them
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
But
Most of the coffee roasters that I know and recommend are going to be on the like lighter end of the spectrum in terms of how they roast, which and the
Mm.
reason why I won't just like name them all is because I recognize that if you don't have experience with light roast coffee, it
Gotcha.
is difficult it's more difficult to brew, and you might not enjoy it. And
Yeah,
if
understandable.
you're not going to stick with it, like what's the point? Yeah, so
Okay.
let's figure out if you
Mm.
enjoy light roast coffee first.
Mhm.
And I just don't have enough experience with dark roast coffees or medium roast coffees even um, that I can necessarily recommend. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, no
with
problem.
the except, actually, you know what? I do know one.
Okay.
I've
Cool.
not tried their dark roast, but they do have a dark roast blend that is also very affordable. Cool Roast Curves. They're down in LA. Um, I like to use their coffees for giveaways because their packaging is really fun and they have some really interesting stuff. But I think that they care a lot about uh, the ethics behind coffee sourcing and the unfortunate reality that there is an imbalance in the economics of coffee between roasters and producers. So
Sure.
cool roast curves, I really like them. And again, I
Yeah.
haven't tried their dark roast, but
Okay.
I
Yeah,
would
fair
at
enough.
least give them a try.
Appreciate your insight. Chat says, I guess there's a question of if there is such a thing as a bad bean versus just a poorly processed brew, considering if people like different qualities about the bean.
Yeah. There are definitely people who just want their coffee to taste burnt and bitter. Like, if you like that, by all means. Like, I had a conversation with someone about how we were both complaining how the coffee in our local city was not to our liking. And I was like, oh, I found someone who is similar, who is also into coffee, and they're like, I don't like Starbucks. I'm like, me too. I don't like Starbucks because it's not dark enough. I'm like, huh? Like, Starbucks is, if you've ever had Starbucks coffee, it is really dark already. I could not imagine a darker roasted coffee,
Mm,
but apparently it's not dark enough for some
not
people.
enough.
And if you like that, you like it.
Maybe they need the
You
forbidden
know?
brownie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you should tell them
No,
about it
but
next time.
um,
I got a thing for you.
yeah, good or bad is subjective. I think that there is, within for any given coffee, there is like, maybe there's an optimal point that is dependent on you, the person, as well as the coffee itself and how it's roasted. Um, I think that there, again, going back to what I was saying before, there is a finite amount of flavor potential in any green coffee, and the darker you roast, the less potential there is.
Mm.
And that's good potential and bad potential. So it is just something to be aware of, and it's about finding a balance that strikes that really just hits for you in particular, and it's going to be different for every single person. So I know this is kind of a non-committal answer, but yeah, the unfortunate reality is that not everyone's going to like the same coffees. um, yeah, like some of the fanciest coffees you'll find are like Panamanian geishas, and they're known for having like really light floral and tea-like qualities. I hate that stuff. I hate it.
Mhm.
I don't like it. I think it is incredibly expensive for what it is, and it's not particularly interesting for me to drink. But people really like it, and people will pay a lot of money for it. Um, you know, you kind of need to just try and see what you enjoy, and if you can find an ethical way to find what you enjoy, that's great.
Mhm.
But again, for me, it has been a multi-year journey of trying a lot of different things and having to suffer through some not so great coffees.
Hmm. On a little lighter topic, do you have a favorite mug for your coffee?
Yeah, I have two. Let me see if I can find them. I think one of them might be in my dishwasher. I'm going to try to not show how dirty it is, but this is, I like this mug. It is from, this is from Arhaj Studio. They are in Denmark. So I really like this one. It is, ignore my shame. I
It's
really
really
just
cute.
like handmade ceramics, and I don't know why, I just like the aesthetic of these like big gloopy looking drips. Um, but I have a lot of stuff from Arhoj. It's ARHOJ.
ARHOJ. Okay.
So they're in Copenhagen, and yeah, they have a lot of interesting stuff. They also have I have other stuff that is really nice. So
Yeah, show us.
similar in aesthetic. So this one's a little bit smaller. I like this for espresso or like as a tasting sampler kind of thing. This one is also from Arhaj.
Okay.
You know, it kind of has a. Well, I just spilled a little bit.
Oops.
It's okay. I spill a lot on my stream. And then the other favorite mug, this one was actually handmade by a Twitch streamer, Cookie Jar Pottery.
Ooh.
So this one, he doesn't stream pottery on live that often, but he made this for me. You know, these glasses that I've been drinking out of, these are whiskey glasses, and the reason why I like them is because you can tilt the glass really far and stick your nose really deep in there before the drink starts coming out. So it's really great when you're just trying to focus on pure flavor. But I think that the tactile experience of holding handmade ceramic is just, there's something special about it. And I wanted a ceramic version of this, and Cookie Jar Pottery made this happen for me. So this one, it's basically a tiny vase, but it kind of gives you the ability to, you know, again, get really deep in there. And because this is handmade by someone in my community, this is a very, very special piece to me. And yeah, it's just really cool to see how people on Twitch can come together and yeah, do this kind of fun stuff for each other.
Just give a shout out to the Cookie Jar Pottery streamer. Check him out.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost my light.
Oh no.
Alright, I know you did talk about these things, but just a little recap.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to be baking with coffee, what are you recommending? So, freeze-dried espresso or freeze-dried coffee if you don't want to mess with the liquid in your...
Yeah.
And you like that
This
brand?
I think that this is good. I don't enjoy drinking this straight up because it is almost certainly a dark roast, but it's easy.
I've seen that one around.
Yeah, it gives decent enough results. Like I said, I use it most often when I'm making coffee ice cream. So yeah, it gives you just it makes stuff taste like coffee. Like, yeah. Now, I like to mix it with things that are a little bit more nuanced, but I think as a starting point, like that's a really good, just like pure coffee flavor foundation.
Okay. Have you heard of Thomas? Oh, okay, you probably have. I keep hearing about this guy, Thomas Hoffman, I think, in my research.
James Hoffman.
James Thomas.
Hoffman, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, James Hoffman.
Sorry, James, if you're watching.
Yeah. No, he is yeah, probably the biggest coffee content creator out there. Former world barista champion, and yeah, no, he's one of the big dogs.
I ended up buying a book, and he's the author of it. So
yeah, he's written a couple books on coffee. I own one of them myself. He does I think that he's gone a long way to kind of democratize information about coffee, which is awesome.
We are going into an ad break in 10 seconds. I might actually have to step away for just a moment while we are in this ad break. Feel free to take over talks.
I have a somewhat ridiculous question.
Go for it.
Are you familiar with the Killer Bean?
The game?
Well,
Or
there's
I think
movies
it's
and
a
a game.
yeah.
It's all made by like one
I
guy.
I have not seen any of it. Besides, I saw someone shared the game listing on Steam. I know that it exists. I've not played it. I don't know anything about it besides that it exists, and it's a little bit ridiculous looking. But
It's very ridiculous looking.
I just think it's so funny how he looks like an M&M's mascot.
Yeah, he's a little just a little weird. But
He's
yeah,
just
it's
a
all
little
made by one
guy.
guy. He's been making
That's
the
yeah.
same franchise since 1996. He's made like multiple movies.
Wait, that old? My
Yeah,
God,
there's
I had
like
no
the first
clue.
movie was 1996, and then he's like remade the same movie because he like rendered. It's all rendered, right? So it's like one
Yeah.
guy just figuring out how to like make a computer graphics animated movie or whatever.
Dang.
And then yeah, that game that just came out. He spent like 12 years working on that thing or something.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. No, that's impressive that he's had that much dedication to this and
A
that
very
people have kept up with it. Yeah,
a
I had
very
no
silly
idea.
coffee bean.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. You said you don't eat many desserts with coffee, which is that's my weakness. Is like afternoon coffee and dessert, like. But
Yeah, I enjoy coffee flavored desserts though.
oh,
So
okay.
like coffee ice cream is one of my favorites. Yeah, like, and I enjoy like coffee cakes even though there's no coffee in them. So
Right.
like I feel like I enjoy my appreciation for coffee flavored things and my appreciation for coffee are they're kind of just running in parallel.
Right.
Like I don't like to have them intersect all that often, but you know, they're both good. And I think that this month's challenge is going to be interesting to see, you know, if I can get them to intersect in a way that I actually enjoy outside of just ice cream. Um, yeah, I've made coffee ice cream so many times that like it's not really a challenge for me to do that. So I'm gonna need to stretch my creative muscles a little bit more.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah,
Good challenge.
for sure. Yeah.
I did have another kind of more personal. Do you have any future coffee related plans? Would you ever consider opening a cafe? You know, just say like dream plans.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I have thought about a lot is my neighborhood is a bit of a food desert. There's not that much going on. There's certainly not a lot of coffee shops that aren't just Starbucks. And something that I have thought about is is there a demand in my neighborhood for a local coffee shop? Is the type of coffee that I'm into something that my community is into? I really don't know. Um, I think it'd be certainly interesting to look into and research. So there've like I'm not anywhere close to actually doing anything with this, but there's part of me that's like I could just you know host a free coffee tasting thing from my patio and invite the neighbors over and try to get their opinions. Um, but yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like, do I actually want to run a cafe? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it is something that I've considered. Separately, the coffee roasting thing, like I said, I want to get good at it or at least less bad at it. Um,
Mhm.
and like so far, I think only one person outside of myself and friends who live locally have tried coffee that I've roasted myself. Uh, I don't know that it's any good, but eventually I would like to get to a point where I can more regularly share coffee that I've roasted myself and have it be something that I'm proud of. That's very aspirational to me, just because uh, I know that I'm very picky with my coffee, and uh, yeah, like right now, I feel if I sent you a bag of the coffee that I roasted, it's between like not knowing if it suits your preferences or if it suits my preferences. Like, yeah, it's it's. I
Spaceballs, the
feel like I have a
coffee
long
shop.
road ahead of me
I
to
like
get good.
that. Real quick, guys, I forgot to announce this earlier, but can you guys please take the time to vote in the straw poll for this month's Discord banner? It's really easy. It's anonymous. All the good stuff. Chat, because we are going to wrap that up soon. Very soon. Spaceballs, the coffee brand. Once you get the roasting down.
I think we'll see. We'll see. When I get confident enough, Brooke is probably the first person I'd let try my coffee.
Fair enough. Chat, do you guys have any more questions before we probably let the awesome Spaceballs and Talks and myself maybe get dinner? I know I'm getting dinner after this. I'm hungry. I did have more questions, but maybe I can ask you on the side and share, or like
Absolutely.
whenever I see you around, I could just space them out.
Yeah, absolutely. My DMs are open, but especially if they're questions pertaining to the challenge, feel free to tag me in the August objective section in Discord, just so that anyone else who might have the same question can also see the answer. Yeah, I can yap about coffee all day. I don't know everything. I don't have any, professional experience working in coffee. I'm just a guy. I'm a big old nerd, and I really like diving into the rabbit hole of this. And if there's lessons that I've learned that can save you some time, save you some heartache, I'm happy to share what little I know.
I'm just checking the polls here. We're gonna be closing them very soon. We kind of have some tying going on, so please vote and break the tie, y'all. Late dinner. Yeah, I'm a late eater. Like I won't even eat lunch sometimes till like there's some days where it's like 7 p.m. So I'm late. Certified coffee yapper. This is like a good job. Well, hey, I would like a bookstore attached to a cafe, so maybe one day we could do a IRL cafe collab.
Yeah, make it cheesy and I are starting a cafe together.
Oh, nice.
We're gonna call it Make It Balls.
Oh,
Make It Balls bakery and cafe.
Nice. There you go. You could try chocolate covered coffee beans. Boston baked beans? I don't know. I'm confused. I was saying like hard tempered chocolate coffee beans. That's what I was thinking. All right. I will announce on the Discord our Discord banner winner. All right, y'all.
Cool. As far as people to raid, are we at the people to raid section? Do we have any more announcements?
I don't remember. The hunger show. Hey, we got the baby. All right, for those that don't know, tell us tell us about the baby. Kenobi.
This is Kenobi.
Here's some Kenobi lore.
Kenobi, he is a half border collie, half whatever else was in the neighborhood of the border collie. And he's 8 years old, and he's a good boy. He just got a bath the other day, so he's not stinky.
See that he's kind of a lap dog?
Not really.
Oh.
He'll like curl up next to me, and sometimes when I need a little bit more affection from him, I'll just like drag him on top of my chest. But he's generally pretty independent. Also, the most important thing about him is that he's a reluctant pooper, and he has not pooped all day today.
No.
I've tried so many times to poop him out.
It's good to see you, only deaf guy. Hi. Alright, let's give you another shout out. Sometimes I try really hard to remember how to spell everyone's name for everything. So I'll say in my head, Spaceballs, the use 3 or name. That's in my head, that's my name. So I remember where that 3 goes.
That's how it goes.
I would mix it up with the 3, the D part. I was like, oh, wait, no, it's wrong.
I have no ambitions of reaching partner status on Twitch, but there is a part of me that's like, if I did go for it, then I could potentially get the username fixed. But that's a lot of work.
What do you need?
Yeah.
Like if you make partner, they'll sometimes let you take over the like another username if it's been lying dormant.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting.
So
that's cool.
But obviously you got to work real hard for that, and I don't know that I care that much.
Okay. Tox, I was assuming that you were talking about were you gonna mention Death by Snoo Stew? Because they're in the
Snoo Stew is still on.
They're in the labyrinth right now.
They are in the labyrinth, and they're it looks like they still have plenty to do. So there's still lots to watch over there.
Yeah, let's do it. Oh, I also want to make sure that I actually show the end screen.
Yes, please run the end credits.
All right. Was there anything else you want to talk about, Spaceballs, before we?
No, I think we got it covered. Thank you everyone for participating in this month's coming challenge. Hit me up if you've got questions. Saren, Talks, thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for
Please
making a
follow Spaceballs. Also, when's your next stream? Do you have a? When can they see you?
Yeah, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday during the workday for folks in the U.S. So 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, I always do some sort of coffee brewing, but now that I'm done working on preparing for this presentation, I'm gonna start doing more cooking and baking content again.
Nice.
So come hang out with me if you want.
So you might make something with coffee this month?
I mean, in sometime in the month of August, probably.
Exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah, we're gonna switch over to the end credits. Was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Spaceballs, and y'all get cooking and baking and brewing for the Minotaur. Bye, Noctis. We're gonna switch over now. There we go. And we got Kenny Durkin's art front and center. I'm just setting up the raid now. We Death by Snoosu is gonna be they are our newest gladiator. And I believe he's collabing with Andresta Dreams, which is Death by Snoosu's wife. So this will be fun.
Thanks, Cheesy.
Yeah, bye, Cheesy. Thanks, Brooke.
Noctis. Wolf. The only deaf guy. Thank you, everyone.
Let me just put this up.
And
all right.
Look forward to seeing your new creations in the coming month.
All right, and I should be around on Sunday. So
Oh,
bye.
nice.
Bye, Jimbo.